What is up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Oops, wrong button. There's the right button. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all doing all right. Today we are turning the page to the Patriots. We're going to get into some press conferences. But before we do get into that, let's get into this.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
What's up, Lewis? How you doing, man? I'm glad you're here for my opening monologue because I have some shit to say.
Oh shit! Well, I'm sorry, just popping in, Shake. If you want, you need to.
No, you good, man. You good. If you want to chime in from time to time, but just so know, I got some shit on my mind. I want to get off my chest real quick. If you want, like I said, if you want to chime in or put your 2 cents in, disagree, agree, whatever, this is your show too, bro. If it was Shake Money, that'll be my Friday shit. That'll be a different story. But this is our shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with crypto. Whenever he decides to pop in. But anyway, listen.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this question. Let's say you hang out with this dude, right? And all of a sudden he starts stealing from one of your other friends, right? And then he steals from another friend. And now all of a sudden he steals from you. It's your fault because you see him what he did to somebody else, you see what he did to that person, and you don't expect him to do the same shit to you. It's your fucking fault. If somebody does something to somebody else behind their back, they're going to do it to you behind your back. I say that to say this. The time to complain about fucking referees was not Sunday. It was when the fucking Saints got ripped off of that playoff, of that Super Bowl berth. So at the end of the day, people think it's the Dolphins that the NFL is going after. No. They've done this to many, many people. What's crazy is that the referees call a bad game, there's no repercussions. But we get caught tampering, we get penalty or draft pick. We get the repercussions, but the referees don't. You know what I'm saying? If something happens that the NFL, Jay Gruden got caught with some emails, there were swift repercussions. Referee cost an entire, and they know it. They saw him purposely alter a game, and nothing happens to that fucking referee. So at the end of the day, I'm saying the NFL knows what it's doing because it punishes what it deems to, you know what I'm saying? They go after certain people for certain things, but other people, they don't. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people are crying about this Sunday. We've seen it happen way too many times, and to think that it wasn't going to happen to us, we're just naive.
Listen, I don't disagree with you, Shake. I know I was a little bit hot on the referees, and again, I think to your point, you could be hot with the referees, but I think you make a very solid point. This is not the first game that has ever happened. The Miami Dolphins, the NFL does not have anything against the Miami Dolphins. This is not, to your point, it's not the first time, and it's definitely not going to be the last time. So, I'm with you, Shake. I think you made a good point. I don't disagree with you.
You know what I'm saying? So, and until they look at the end of the day, what trips me out, and this is something that when crypto said Crypto did the bad karma. This is what I thought he was talking about. When the Patriots got cheated 2 weeks ago, oh, that's good for them because blase. But at the end of the day, guess what? It's coming back to us. That same. So instead of saying, oh man, they should have, let's call the game fair for everybody, we pick and choose who the game should be fair for. And then get mad when we don't get the same difference. I mean, I'm not saying it's right and I'm not justifying it, but at the same time, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as Crypto would say.
Right. Listen, I agree. I when the only thing I was arguing with Crypto when he was making that, karma because of this game, and no, I think the way you're saying it, Shake, I would agree with more. Like, again, when I'm watching the game on Sunday, seeing it live and me being just a fan, I was like, damn, we got screwed. Now, to Color's point, and I hear Color say it all the time since the game happened. Yeah, there were some missed calls, but I don't think the refs took the game away. I don't think the reason we lost that game was because of the calls. I agree with Color when he says that, right? So, but to your point, Shake, again, I think how you said it, I think you were spot on. Again, Sunday night wasn't the first time the referees have missed calls or they'll ever miss calls. And it won't be the last time neither. Like, if you look, I'm sure, again, we're just all Dolphin fans. And yeah, we might watch a game here or a game there, but for the most part, we stay with our Dolphins. But I'm sure, to your point, a couple of years ago, the Saints, when they got robbed in their home stadium with the Rams going to the Super Bowl, I'm sure they were pissed. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you talk to Kansas City media and they're upset, or their fans are upset, or Buffalo fans, or New England fans, Jet fans. So I agree with you, Shane.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? This was a meaningless loss. We didn't need this fucking win. We're still in the driver's seat. But however, for the Saints, that was the ultimate prize they got robbed out of. They got robbed out of the 100%. Ultimate prize, bro.
They got robbed out of a Super Bowl, right? For sure.
Something everybody dreams of playing this game as a kid.
I agree. Listen, you're not going to get no debate from me, Shake. What's going on, KP? I see KP in the building.
Good, yeah, KP. What's up, gentlemen? What's up, gentlemen? Hey, the season is getting real, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's now getting real. We're going to have to put up or shut up as things continue to develop.
What are you talking about, KP?
The injuries are going to stack up. I'm hearing a narrative out there that, another narrative about for the losses. We got these injuries in key positions. Well, as certain players come back and are healthy, you're going to find out that in the NFL season, other players will be injured. So, injuries are a fact of NFL life. So you can't use that as an excuse either. Not to say that any of you two are blaming the game, last week's game on the refs or making any excuses at all. Yes, those things are a factor in the result, right? Or the overall result. But in the NFL, it's about overcoming all of those challenges that present themselves on a week-to-week basis. And the good teams, by definition, are those that overcome those challenges, whether they be refs, whether they be injuries, whether they be, bad plays, a turnover here or there. The good teams always, by definition, tend to be the ones that have the facility to overcome those negative moments.
And by the way, one thing I want to bring up, and I'll bring about the subject, is somebody brought up the Cowboys, and I'm glad they brought up the Cowboys, or maybe they brought it's the alcohol making me see Cowboys, whatever. Here's the thing: when the Dez Bryant got screwed out of that catch, which years later they say, oh, by the way, it was a catch after all.
They changed the rule,
yeah. When they got screwed, people cheered, not because they had pure hatred for the Cowboys. Instead of trying to make the game fair, because of their blindness of the people hate the Cowboys, they wanted that to be a catch so bad. They got screwed out of a playoff win. And again, that's the bad karma that comes back to bite us in the ass.
Well, KP, let me ask you this, because you brought up the good teams find a way to win. And listen, I'm with you so far, KP. I would just, I want to just ask you the question though, with the loss to Philadelphia on Sunday. And again, knowing we're not blaming the refs, but to your point, some circumstances happened in that game. Don't some of those calls we all know should have went our way? They didn't. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Also, Armstead not being there, X not being there, Connor Williams. Those are awesome factors, KP, to your point. I would just ask you, do you still think Miami is a good team even after that loss, KP? Or are you...
Well, that's the thing. My bigger critique is this whole narrative of good team and bad team while we're in the season and figuring things out. Typically, that whole thing can only be applied at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be facts and reasons why certain teams finish with higher records than others. At that point, I think it becomes more fair to assess whether a team is good or bad. Anything up until that point is just projection. You know what I mean? And it may be projection based upon, good reasoning, right? Good rationale, trends, etc. But it is just projection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is when we say teams are good or bad, I think sometimes we do that a little bit prematurely.
But is it just record for you, KP, that will tell you at the end of the season if you're a good team or a bad team? Is it just like the record?
Well, ultimately, that's what counts, right? I mean, how far you get into the playoffs, right? Whether you end up in the Super Bowl or not. I mean, it's a cold, hard truth. Now, if you're asking me personally about our team, the Dolphins, right now, like Shake just said a couple seconds ago, we got everything to play for. We have positioned ourselves to be a good team by the end of the season. And we got to continue working towards that goal. And it's going to take a combination of good decisions, good play, good efforts, and also finding solutions where these problems poke their heads up. In the end, that's what good teams are able to do.
And here's the one thing. Can I say something real quick? Here's the one. Another thing too. You got to realize right now, the Philadelphia exposed a little chink in our armor. Can McDaniels now make the adjustments? Because they kind of now Bill Belichick, he looked at this Philadelphia game with a freaking fine-tooth comb. He go, okay, this is how you stop this. This is how you stop this. Can Mike McDaniels now make the adjustment? Because that's what happened with the San Francisco game. Then everybody else started copying that. Can they make that adjustment? And Buffalo was just too stubborn to do what the other good defenses were doing.
Can I add a little bit? Can I add to this discussion?
What's up, Carla?
This whole thing that who's a good team and who's a bad team. See, if you all go back and listen to my narrative before the Philadelphia game all week, you would have heard me saying that, last year, Super Bowl runner-ups, none of that matters because of what they've done against the particular quality opponent that they have. Now, I wasn't convinced that their defensive front was ready to be anointed yet because of their quality of opponent. Now they have done the same thing against us, but it's not like we were completely stifled with no yards and got put to shame or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we actually equaled roughly their offensive production. The only place that they outdid us was first downs. They had double the first downs we did. And this notion that, I get it. You can look at. I wasn't willing to use when I look at the projections are mathematical. They don't take into consideration that the Philadelphia Eagles were Super Bowl runner-ups. Otherwise, they would have been higher in the projections going into last week than they were at 5-1. Now they beat a 5-1 team, us. So obviously now they have done well for themselves to take their proper seat in the top 3 or 4 of projections with the rest of us, the Chiefs, us, the Bills, and the Niners. And yes, still us, even though we lost that game, because the projections don't care that we haven't beat a good team in so long. Because what's a good team? Well, apparently, if Eagles went to the bottom of the projections from when it comes to the upper echelon teams to the top just by beating us, then obviously if the projections were a person, they would be telling you that the Eagles just beat a good team. Us.
Right.
Yeah.
So this notion that at one point, before the Buffalo Bills were a contender, they weren't a contender. At what point do we, turn the page from all this 30 years of, same old Dolphins can't beat the good team? Let the media have the narrative, because that's the only thing that the refs stole from us the other night. They didn't steal the game from us, but it is fair. And I think the feeling that Lewis and Capitan and all these other guys are feeling is right, because what they're actually feeling is that what we got stole from us was our narrative that we can compete with the good teams. Because if you do even the officiating out Sunday night, I bet you that nobody would be talking about whether we can contend with the big dogs or not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
Well,
and listen, those are the relative facts to that particular contest, right? But the end story remains unwritten. If we flash back to Flores last season, right, when we were 1-7 at that point, right? By definition, folks would have been calling us not just a bad team, but the worst team in the league, or one of the worst. At that point, we didn't run off 7 straight wins, right? We totally destroy the old bad team certainty.
Right, but to
that
my
some
point,
folks want
that year.
By the way, I want to give a let's
go ahead, Shake. Go ahead, Shake.
Shout out to Rosalind.
Rosalind, man, I appreciate you for becoming a member. Hey, man, we need some more. Welcome to the club, man. Appreciate you, man.
That's the homie. That's the homie from Twitter, Shake.
Oh, for real?
Okay.
That's what's up.
Okay.
What's up, Rosalind?
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing I was trying to say. The projections didn't care that anything of the sort as far as what's been done in the last 4 or 5 seasons by all these teams. Because if it did, then the fact that when we ran off those wins and brought ourselves back to 9-8 that year, when we were getting there and we were starting to contend and we were starting to beat teams and go on that run, the projections didn't care, because we had already gone 1-7. It wasn't putting us up at the top of the projection saying, yeah, we're going to make the divisional round of the playoffs and all that. It wasn't saying all that, even though we were playing like it should at the time. Because of this 1-7 start. It's mathematical. So in this case, why am I going to say that the projections are wrong because, of the teams we beat? Well, the Eagles were in the same boat last week, yet they weren't projected as high as we were.
Right. My point is
look at the teams that they beat, and there was nobody until us. And
so
now that they've jumped, well, real quick, let me land with this real quick. Now that they've jumped so high in the projections from beating us, and we have fallen so little from losing, that tells me that the projections, if they were a person, is telling us that we can compete with the big dogs, and we will get that win.
Hey, Lewis, I don't know if you know. Do you know this legend real quick? Do you know who this legend is?
No, I don't know who the hell that is. I have no idea. But real quick. Real quick, because a Cat for Life came in here asking if Tyreek was out a month. Is it true? Then Raphael Courtright saying 2 weeks. We got Mike saying week 10. Has any of you guys heard anything about Tyreek? Like, I just heard.
I tried to listen to TD, but I caught it late and I've missed his announcement, so I didn't see it. But real quick, the other thing too is
Tua said
the other thing too is
down the line.
The other thing too, with Kahari's point about everything still has to play out. We have yet to play any of these quote unquote good teams in Hard Rock this year. So there's that too.
Those will be other factors. And just to respond to what you just said prior to that, Color, projections are real, right? But the point is, projections are there to be changed, just like you pointed out.
Of course, because we have to make them real. They're not real. It's just the current position of the wave function. It's the current superposition what it favors. Collapsing
what I'm saying is,
you know what I mean?
But the point is, a lot of folks, like what's driving a lot of the chatter out there and a lot of the spaces we visit or participate in is this idea that the projections are real, immutable, You know what I'm saying? And then I see it here all the time in the Twitter spaces. Folks say other people's takes are dumb because we are a certain good team, and the projections prove it. When projections
see, they
are
don't
there
prove
to
it. See, that's the thing.
exactly.
And that's the thing, Corey. I've been trying to stress.
That's the fallacy that keeps on happening.
Right, and I've been trying to stress when I speak of these projections, I'm simply trying to speak for them and what they're suggesting based on the current probability state of the wave function. You see what I'm saying? So the Philadelphia Eagles were projected last week before the game. They were projected for an 11-6 record. Okay. They made, by beating us and all that and taking care of business, they not only made those projections a reality, okay, or more of a reality, but they jumped up in the projections, which means now the wave function favors a collapse to them being better than they were projected before. So in other words, they did it for themselves to prove that, to make those projections more of a reality. And it's up to every team to do that.
Right.
You know, but I do know this. I do know this. There's nothing that the Patriots can do with a less than 0% projection probability to change that. That you can take for reality now, because it's too much time gone by and too little time left for that to change drastically enough. Now, by the end of the season, they might have a 15% probability of winning the division, but that's only because they might have got a couple wins and time went by. But it don't change the fact this early out that they're 0% and they're not going to win the division.
And before
they would have to rip off 11 straight, and we would all have to lose.
Real quick though, before we continue, at 10:05, I'll let you finish this conversation, but just we're at 10:05. At 7:05, I want to get to my press conferences because that's what I like to do on Wednesdays. So
sure thing, man.
Just put y'all.
That's good tape. That's good tape.
Right. And Corey, as far as the projections being reality, what I'm trying to say about what they do suggest is that we can and will eventually get that signature win against a good team is all I'm saying. I believe that based on the projections. I'm not saying they're proving it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm not. And hey, Carla, I'm not saying that you're the one doing this either. I mean,
I got you. I just want to clarify so those that are doing it can understand how to better utilize them for themselves, so they aren't that person you're talking about. You know what I mean?
I mean, we could get even more controversial. Right now, according to the projections, according to what has been put down as evidence, it is just a fact and obvious that Tua is having an MVP run at this stage, right? Projection-wise, if he continues at this rate through the remainder of the 8-9 games, whatever we have left, he will be in that discussion. So that's how you use a projection. But my first comment when I came on board tonight was, shit just got real. The season is not real. Because if we face a future the next couple of weeks without 3 starting offensive linemen, without Tyreek Hill, then that we're going to have to test whether that projection.
Well, here's where the rubber meets the road, Corey. That we've all been talking about for 2 seasons. Who needs what help and who's doing what for whom? Well, we're about to find out.
Exactly, and that's what I mean about the season. It just got real.
Yeah, but right there, that's what I don't like, bro. I don't give a fuck. Take Tua out of it. Josh Allen is not overcoming 3 offensive linemen missing and a starting receiver, Stephon Diggs, missing. He's not overcoming that. See, because that's the narrative right there. And I just heard, let's be real. We're making it seem like, now with the pressure's on Tua, and if Tua don't overcome, the narrative is going to be, well, Tua can't overcome it because. But no, bro, name me the quarterback in this league that's doing that, because our beloved
the Super Bowl champion.
No, because the Super Bowl champion couldn't overcome a starting left tackle in the Super Bowl.
Real quick? Can I
go ahead? Sorry.
Yeah, they were going against a monster defense.
Hold on, Crypto, goddammit, because this is what I don't like right here. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, when his whole starting offensive line was out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did not overcome that 31-9 loss. He didn't overcome that.
Okay. I didn't say Patrick Mahomes. I didn't say Patrick. No, wait a minute. I didn't say Patrick Mahomes. I said the Super Bowl champion.
You said Patrick Mahomes.
I did not. I said the Super Bowl champion because it has been illustrated. It has been illustrated 1,000 times in this league a quarterback, there are quarterbacks that can do that.
That's going to overcome 3 offensive linemen color. And
There have been.
Let me help you out. Yes, Lewis. I want to tell you, because that's a bad example with the Chiefs.
Okay. Well,
against the same Bills.
Tell me the quarterbacks. Tell me
Joe Burrow against the Bills. He had 3 linemen missing against the Buffalo Bills. That was the only one. That was the one I remember.
Okay, and I'm with you.
The Buffalo Bills.
Win the Super Bowl.
And I'm with
No,
you.
he didn't win the Super Bowl, but I'm talking about an actual playoff game.
What I'm talking about
that overcame it in a big game.
Okay, Crypto, right there. One game, I'm with you. One game, I'm with you. But if this situation arises and we're 4 weeks without Tyreek Hill and our 3 offensive linemen, and let's say we go 2-2, is that a failure? Or if we go 1-3, is that Tua can't?
No, but if you're talking about we go from competing to being outclassed because of a 1 wide receiver being out and 3 offensive linemen, then no, that's not acceptable. Because you might say that Patrick Mahomes couldn't overcome that, but they were still in the Super Bowl.
Again, but he didn't overcome it, and the problem.
No, I'm just saying though they were still competitive. But if we fall off a cliff, that's another story.
But they lost the offensive lineman in the AFC Championship. That's when they lost it.
That's when they lost it. He didn't overcome shit.
But
now you're also
talking about throughout the regular season
going against Tom Brady in the fucking Buccaneers, man.
And the Buccaneers' vicious defense.
Let's
not forget that the Patriots are missing a lot of people too.
How about this? Tom Brady then. Tom Brady in that very game, because if you think the Bucs weren't trash that season and weren't elevated by him, then I don't know what to tell you.
And no one is saying that Tua will not do it, right? But what I'm saying is that the challenge, this is what the challenge now becomes. You are said to be an MVP candidate, right? Now faced with this greater challenge, it's time to prove it, right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he won't.
I wouldn't talk about one game either, Lewis. I'm talking about we go 1-5 from here on out. I'm sorry, bro. That ain't acceptable, man.
Again, let me just make it clear. I'm not saying that he will not
would overcome that.
But we will have to see now.
I don't know those quarterbacks though. And see, it's easy to say other quarterbacks, but that's not the case.
Bro, the Jets.
That's false.
Joe Burrow.
That's
the
false.
Cincinnati Bengals was ranked 29th in that Super Bowl run. They offensive line ranking.
I'm not talking about losing one game. I'm talking about all of a sudden not being able to beat anybody. That's
you should be able to win without Tyreek Hill.
But that's what I'm saying, and I'm with you guys. I believe if 3 starting offensive linemen are out against New England and Tyreek Hill is out against New England, I believe we beat New England. But if you're telling me that 3 offensive linemen are out and Tyreek is out and Mostert now is on the injury report with an ankle injury as well, let's say he's out,
and we can't complete a damn pass.
Weren't we bragging about our depth all season? How much better we better?
No one's saying we can't complete a pass, Color.
I'm saying, given the scenario that we don't complete a pass, all of a sudden we can't complete a pass because Tyreek Hill's not on the field.
I don't know who said that. I didn't say that.
Nobody. I'm suggesting the scenario that we collapse that bad because of missing Tyreek is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about we lose a game. I'm talking about if we just fall off the face of the earth because of it.
Right, but you see again. Well, and again, I think, and just listening to what happened on the Twitter space, and let's say Tyreek is out, and let's say Waddle, we know he's dealing with stuff. Let's say he's out. I still think Braxton Berrios, Cedric Wilson, and let's say Chase.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not giving Tua no excuses. All I'm saying, Lewis, that's fair. All I'm saying is, without Tyreek and with a decimated offensive line, we are reset back to where we were, quality as a team-wise, in 2021. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. We're literally the Brian Flores team.
No,
there's better offensive coaching.
And so we get a
which
real
means there's no
opportunity
excuse to lose.
And so this is what I was actually saying. If we're resetting to quality levels of 2021, then we get a real opportunity to see just how much Tua has improved for himself and made
Correct.
a difference. That's all I was saying.
That was the point. That's what I was getting at as well. It's now time to show
I'm
that
telling you right
MVP
now,
status.
Shake. You want me to go off, Shake?
It'd be like if you put Tua on the Patriots right now. No, it would be no, Lewis. It'd be like if you put the Tua on the Patriots right now, which is effectively the squad he had in 2021, right? You know what I mean? Like, what would we? I'm just curious.
They'll be like changing him and putting him on the Patriots. The Patriots got missing linemen, missing cornerbacks.
Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Put him on the Jets.
Hold on. The results of the measurement could be great. I'm just saying it gives us a real opportunity to measure that now.
And he could lose these games and still show MVP medal. It could definitely be, Lewis, that we just don't have the talent to compete. But that MVP quality has to show through when the going gets tough.
Hold on. I got a question. I want to chime in here real quick. Did we not already beat the Patriots without all this star talent prior?
No, we didn't. We had all of them. They were all here. We had Tyreek Hill and we had X.
Crypto, you didn't listen to my question. Had you let me finish, you'd listen to it properly.
I got him.
What I'm saying is in 2021, prior to Tyreek, did Tua not beat the Patriots?
We swept them.
And all we had was Jalen Waddle and probably Devontae Parker and whoever else was here at that time.
Brian Flores.
So my point is, we've already seen it. That is my point.
That's a fair point, Ali, and I made that in the spaces. But we also had a better defense than we got now.
Yeah, I guess.
What was that thing Brian Flores used to say? It takes no talent.
It's the same people are still here. I don't get it's not that much different, to be honest.
Personnel-wise, you're right.
Hey, Shake Money. Hey, Shake Money. Sir. Can I just say something real quick? You say you're going to start at 7.
Yeah. What's up? Go ahead for it.
I'm sorry. I got a phone call. You say that 7:05 you were going to start. I just wanted to address something real quick. By this whole ass bitch, Fred. Let me tell you something, Fred. I might be a fucking idiot, but you're the motherfucking dumb ass that listens to this fucking idiot every fucking night, and you're the fucking dumbass that sits in this fucking chat and begs every fucking moment of your sorry motherfucking life. Oh, can you please drop the link so you can come up here and talk to this fucking idiot? So now what you can do is sit your happy ass in the fucking chat with no fucking link and go fuck yourself.
Can you put it over there?
Sit here and listen to this fucking idiot all goddamn night. You dumb fuck. Now you can continue with the goddamn.
And I totally got where you were coming from, Louis. Don't get me wrong. I totally got where you were coming from. I understand that this whole that question.
Ali, you made a great point too. I was saying that in the spaces.
I'm just only saying that it gives us a real chance to measure just what we wanted to know all this time.
I didn't know you were talking about the 2021 team, but yeah, that's the point I made in the space.
It was more resolving an argument that's been going on for 2 years, as to whether it is if Tua has improved at all or if it's just the stuff around him. You know what I mean?
Listen, man of the hour. I've been saying that for years, and it's never gonna happen. Sorry.
we just have a temporary
reset. We already had a game this year without Waddle, and we won it. So I'm saying we already had a game without Waddle this year, and we won it. So it's not like I'm trying to dog the guy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying we got a clear picture. We get to get a clear picture, just to see how far he's come. I believe he's come very far. You know what I mean? I don't have any doubts we're going to see what we need to see. I'm not worried about New England this week, but unlike most, I think we're going to rebound just fine and take care of business just fine Sunday. But that's just me.
Hey man, listen. At the end of the day, man, you're the gas that keeps this engine running, Lewis. I love you for that.
Yeah, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, I feel you, bro.
He ain't even wrong for saying what he said. I'm not saying he's wrong. You know what I mean?
But this doesn't apply to Lewis, right? This doesn't apply to Lewis. But I gotta imagine that if Tyreek's gonna be out with the offensive line the way it is, there's gonna be a lot of those people known as two-and-airs and whatever, two-and-on, whatever, who are gonna be mighty nervous between now and Sunday, or for however long.
I hope they squirm, and I hope they squirm.
They're gonna be sweating and squirming.
Yeah. Sal, I just want to comment to Sal real quick. Sal is like trolling about being without Tyreek. and going up against Bill Belichick. Well, listen, Tua is 5-0 against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Only one of those wins out of the 5 actually had Tyreek. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm just
I have no fear of New England. I still think we're going to watch. Yeah, we're going to watch the ground with
our
New England.
defense is going to play much better than we did last time.
Hey, by the way, this is a picture of Sal right here. This is a picture of Sal right here.
God, they're so butthurt for losing for the New England, man. Jeez. God, never seen anything like
it.
it.
Those Cornwallis was right. Gonna put some Yorktown on their ass. Get the hell up out.
How did these guys handle the last 23 years, man? Jeez.
So, all right, y'all ready for this? Here's
you got it, Shay.
By the way, this I'm doing like who's that? Tonk. Shout out to him. He's inspired me to do this. This is gonna be the Backrooms Collection press conference. And of course, we all know Backroom Collections because Bill Belichick's been doing backdoor deals with the referees. So I'm going to call this the Backroom Collection press conference every Wednesday, brought to you by, not brought to you, but in honor of Backroom Collections, fine art for your man cave, your work of business, and visors for your mini helmets. They're a family-owned business. Give them a call, and if you use the hashtag TFTG, you'll get 10% off your first purchase. So with that being said, here is the Bill Belichick press conference. By the way, you could pause it. You ask if you need me to pause it. Please let me know.
Just real quick question. In addition to these backroom deals, does he do backroom signs as well for Michigan? Just curious.
No,
cheaters, no cheaters. So that's why I want to know.
I don't know. That's the other that's the other scumbag, Harbaugh.
I'm just kidding, bro. Keep it going. Go ahead.
You try to bring him back on practice squad?
He's not claimed.
How different or similar do you see the Dolphins team now compared to what you saw in week 2?
I don't think everybody's evolved in the last few weeks. Every team has. So they have, but it's just the normal kind of evolution. Some injuries and, transition in their schemes. Pretty similar.
Strange as he's returned, and what was he able to get anything accomplished against Lawrence?
Get anything accomplished while he was what?
Was he able to add weight or add strength or anything like that?
Well, I mean, when you're rehabbing, you're limited in what you can do. So you do what you can do. You rehab the injury that you have and still work on the other body parts. But so same as everybody else does. But yeah, good to have him back. Good to have him back, and hopefully we can build some consistency for him and the unit, playing together.
Well, how important has David's leadership experience been to the line as all those changes?
He's done a great job. Yeah, he's done a great job. He's playing well, and he's really helps the quarterback, the offensive line. He's a very good personality, calm but enthusiastic and aggressive and energetic. But at the same time, there's not a panic to it. It's really good. It's a great job.
I think when we look at it from afar, you see a better center next to a rookie guard like City the other day. How can he help a younger player like that during a game? What kind of communication occurs between those spots that help?
Communication on every play. Who we're blocking, how we're blocking them, line calls, fake line calls, reminders. There's something on every play.
Sticking with the O-line here, I know it's just been 7 games.
By the way,
this has been some of the best football you've seen from Brown.
If you need any translation.
Trent's played a lot of good football in his career. So He's a good player.
Is this among the better football? He's played a lot of good football. Is this as good as you've seen it?
Yeah, I think he's playing well. I think he's played a lot of good football. So, I mean, I don't want to sound like this is like, a big aberration. But he's a good player.
Will the team stick with winning right now?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll announce our starting lineup on Sunday. That's all right.
One thing I noticed about Bill Belichick, though, is when he was because one of the things I always watch Bill Belichick press conferences. This has been a tradition for multiple years, going back 10 years, and he has the same demeanor he had when he was 12-1, and now 1-2-5. You know what I'm saying? His fucking demeanor never fucking changes.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, Shake, I can speak if anybody needs a translation.
yeah.
The fact,
but the thing I like about him is every once in a while he'll give like a wicked wicked smile, like he's like, yeah, I probably fucked your wife or some shit like that. Look at him.
that Mac had such a
Right,
big
right.
the other day and like 2 impressive touchdowns. What do you think that does? What does that say for you, and what does that do maybe for the locker room, things like that?
I don't know. Like everybody, everybody works hard. Everybody wants to play well, and as a team, we played well, and we won. So it's a good feeling, but it doesn't really mean anything this week. Starting all over again. Need to have another good week, and need everybody to step up. Offense, defense, special teams, coaches, players, you name it. So just moving on.
Bill, 6 weeks into their careers in the regular season, what are your impressions?
I mean, if we rip off 10 in a row, we'll beat Super Bowl champions.
All right. Well, I mean, we can't control the conditions, so we can control. We practiced in whatever we've practiced in. Hasn't always been ideal, but I think that's the best training we can have. They kick in the stadium when they can, when it's available, and they kick outside, and those are a little bit different.
Can you pause it for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
So, I think.
What's up?
What was the question about that he's answering right now? It was something about conditions. Are they asking about the weather conditions?
Correct. I believe so.
I think so.
I
think so because it's been kind of windy lately, and it was
I have no idea.
hot today, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, because I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think he was asking about the week.
Okay, because the reason I'm asking is because last year we all know what he did. He brought the team down here early, so I was curious if he was doing the same thing. So that's why I was asking.
By the way, since being that you're a Star Wars fan, who was the guy who shocked Darth Vader because he wanted kill Luke?
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, the older he looks, the more Belichick is starting to look like him.
Actually, you want to know who really looks like him is the Dallas Cowboys owner / GM. Jerry Jones. He looks like Emperor Palpatine.
Actually, Jerry Jones to me looks like the guy who played Skeletor on the movie.
Oh, you ain't kidding, bro. He does look like Skeletor.
From the you know what I'm talking about? Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Damn.
Bryce, especially on the field goals, Bryce, Chad, and Joe working together. I mean, obviously that's new. That's a little bit of a process. Kicking off and punting is more of just the specialist doing his thing. There's really nobody else. The snap's involved, but I mean, for the most part, punt snap is, unless it's extremely erratic, it's pretty, the timing on that's about the same. So, but yeah, those guys have learned a lot. I think they both have a good future. See how it goes. Conditions are if they're challenging, if they're not.
I think he's asking
Game
Ali
situations.
because it might be expected to
Had
be
some
windy.
long field goals, backed up punts, plus 50 punts. You know, got a variety of conditions. So I'm sure in the long run that'll serve him well.
What have you seen in the development of Christian Barmore?
Yeah, B. Morris had a really good year. He's been healthy, had a good off season. I'd say this is the hardest that he trained or was able to train. Some of that's been, you know, a little bit, you know, rehab related, but had a good off season, good training, and just playing well. So I think those things usually go together.
Similar question about Anthony Jennings. What have you seen from him this year? It seems like he's playing some of his best football.
Yeah, well, he's had an opportunity, you know, with some of the injuries we had, you know, at that position. He's had an opportunity to play a lot, and you know, he's definitely stepped up. That's what, you know, sometimes that's what this league's about, is getting an opportunity, however that happens, and then taking advantage of it when you get it. Lou Garrett, Wally Pipp, you know.
How has City South reacted to or responding to you move from guard as a senior to tackle over the summer and come back to guard?
Right. We played guard most of his college career, played a little tackle as a freshman, played a few snaps of tackle in the All-Star game, and played tackle here. So the move from tackle to guard, I think, was more comfortable for him than guard to tackle. It's kind of why we did it that way. Start him at tackle, figure move him to guard versus taking a guard and trying to move him out to tackle, you know. So, yeah, but he's another guy that's got a really good demeanor, works hard, tough, you know, just tries to do his best every time you ask him to do, and that's, you know, that's a good thing. So takes coaching well. Obviously he's inexperienced. He's learned a lot. He's certainly not arrived or there yet, but making progress every day, works hard, learns from his mistakes. You know, it's a big kid that, you know, is strong, tough. And
Can you pause there a second? Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? Before you get into the thing about it is, if you asked about the center, everything he said, he'd say about the same. Well, he works hard. Good government. How about the wide receiver? Works hard. To me, whenever he does it, it's just
it
name
fits
in here.
like a glove for everybody. Yeah.
Insert name here.
And there's probably
He's
a
the
certain
can
amount of
response.
truth to every one because, right, and there's probably a certain amount of truth to everyone, even if working hard might not end up measuring up to his standards. He can still say, yeah, they're out there working hard because that's what they expect out of their players, and that's the type of psychology that they draft. You know what I mean? So my point is, and this is the reason I had you stop it, and I'm glad you went down this road because that's precisely where I was going. You notice how when Greer or somebody in our organization expresses satisfaction and confidence in our offense, oh, they don't know what they're looking at, or they're lying, or they can't seem to be giving up on their draft pick or whatever. It couldn't be that he is actually working hard out there and improving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I noticed about Greer when he drafts players, a majority of the time, not more times than not, the player that Chris Greer drafts, he likes to draft team captains. He loves drafting players that were team captains, and that's I noticed whenever he talks about
you don't have their.
But go ahead.
Right. It's about respecting what the coach is saying. It's about respecting what the coach is saying. I don't think there's any Patriot fans out there because, you know, they happen to not like this offensive lineman going, oh, Belichick's just saying that because he has to. You know what I mean? Right. And I think it's just amazing the difference, the way that the two organizations address their media, not just the coach, but the organization overall. Like, yeah, these are our guys. We think they're going to be good. If we're wrong, fuck you. You know what I mean? But us, it's like, oh, we can't be wrong because, oh, the fans are going to lambaste us on Twitter if we're wrong, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I have an exclusive picture of Bill Belichick after signing his next contract after the one he just signed.
Okay, cool.
Right on time for Halloween.
Dun.
That's how old he's going to look if he keeps signing these
contracts. That one, Shake, or the cartoon version?
Of course, the cartoon version. I grew up on that one.
Oh, actually, I thought
Skeletor.
they did a pretty good
Skeletor.
job casting.
Yeah, it was.
I like the newer cartoon
Yeah,
too.
the
The newer
new-
one's pretty good
new
on
cartoon.
Netflix. Pretty good stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, they got a newer He-Man? Are you serious?
It's
Yeah.
it's
I'm gonna have
basically
to get
filmed
back on
very
that.
similar to the original, but it's a more mature adult storyline. Let me tell you.
All right, I'm gonna have to get on that.
So there's a new definition for Ram Man, huh? Ram Man is ramming something else.
No,
Okay.
let's just say there's
Ram Man.
actually death in it for the first time, and let's just put it this way: the storyline I didn't necessarily let my kids watch. Let's put it that way.
I hear you.
Yeah, and then you realize when you're a kid, damn, I can't believe I actually watched a superhero in speedos, a muscular man in speedos fight villains. But anyway,
Yeah, you go oblivious to it.
Yeah.
By the power of Grayskull.
I have the power.
Each week the same, whether it's a win or a loss. But do you feel an extra sense of energy or excitement this week from your team just because you guys were able to get a win?
Yeah, I think we felt that after the game. I think now it's time to move on to Miami. Well, it's been time. That was
Like she was gonna get any other answer.
Monday, a little bit Monday, but we're done with last week's game.
Well, I think we ask, we're touching this topic every year, but around late October, I think you express you kind of know what you have with your team at this point in the season. What have you learned over these last 7 weeks about your team, big picture, that you didn't know in the first few weeks?
Yeah, I think we're still working through it. There's been quite a few changes since the start of the year, so this isn't the same team we had at the start of the year 6 weeks later. It's a little bit different.
As far as a playing identity, some of the videos shared by the organization's social media team caught you saying, like, we know how we've got to do it, how we've got to play in the locker room after the game. Do you think you're closer to knowing that now? Do you think you know what that identity has to be?
It hasn't changed.
Bill, you also went to college yesterday. I was just wondering if that working that this one as well.
Yeah, Trey's in a little different situation. So just leave that where it is. There's other rules and other things involved. It's been a much longer discussion than so.
Coach, what have you seen from Jalen Rager and his opportunities, and see someone you could see sign into the 53?
Yeah, Jalen's come in. Been a really good scout team player for us. We played against a lot of top receivers, and he's gotten a lot of good opportunities with some of the routes that those guys run to kind of be featured a little bit on some of the scout team plays. He's earned some playing time, which has come from his practice performance. So, he's picking up the offense, and we'll see how it goes. But he's got this good talent, good guy to work with. Glad we have.
In that same vein, on the scout team, how has Will Greer done simulating, very different quarterbacks that you've played? It seems like a great variety this year.
Yeah, well, Will and Bailey have kind of split that. So, they've both gotten snaps at that. They're both doing well, both smart, both work hard. Been able to, give our defense the kind of look that we need from that position. So, yeah, both done a good job. Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, and that was the back room collection press conference. Bill Belichick. Oh man. Yeah, he really didn't give too much tidbits this time around.
Anybody remember what was Diggs' final numbers in that game and Gabe Davis in last week's game against them?
Stephon Diggs?
Yeah, and Gabe Davis. Kincaid caught probably the most passes, but I wonder what they boundary guys did.
I could I'll look that up real quick.
Yeah, I didn't.
By the way,
I'm curious.
By the way, tonight, Crypto, I moved Larry K to next week, but however, I got a substitute.
Right.
I got a substitute tonight for the insomnia. My man Greg is going to be joining us tonight.
All right. Okay. Cool. Greg, that ought to be fun.
Yeah. So here you go.
Yeah,
Patriots.
I saw Diggs make a similar play to what he did against us, against Kahoo.
Shake a slightly backroom collection segment for that would have been the audio from Kyle Van Noy.
Backroom, yeah. Oh yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for Friday. I'm saying that for Friday's show. But
Yeah, TD's interpretation of that was pretty juicy in his little insert earlier. Yeah.
What was that, KP?
I love TD.
Well, he was basically using the Van Noy interview to illustrate the fact that people's narrative has been wrong on Flores versus Tua. That really the power struggle inside was always Flores versus Greer. And then he went to some lengths to point out some things he knew, asserting that Greer was the one leaking things out into the media to build a narrative that Flores hated Tua. And in reality, it was, in retribution to the fact that it really was Flores growing tired of some of the picks that Greer was making. He was saying that Greer, that a lot of the picks that have been associated with Flores wanting this guy and that guy really were not, He was at the table in discussion with Greer, but that Greer had the final say, which is something you've always said, Crypto. And that Greer made picks, so many picks that Flores didn't agree with. That this is kind of what was fueling the divide.
So in other words,
right, he had complete veto power over the whole situation.
Yeah. Right. So in other words, people accusing Flores of sabotaging Tua when it was the whole time it was Greer sabotaging Flores.
Exactly, Shake, man. See, Shake, that's why you're the man. Shake said in like 4 or 5 words what I was struggling to express in like a whole damn paragraph.
I definitely
man.
get it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so it's pretty juicy stuff when it comes to football.
Upper power struggle, but not necessarily with players versus coach.
Right.
And which helped fuel the Miami media to propagate that nonsense. And then so everybody in the masses comply in turn, which will hurt him getting a future job in the NFL. Hence, that's where the lawsuits are coming from.
Right. Well, he didn't get that far into it, Crypto, but that's where you're extending it. And I think that sounds about right. Yeah, I think that sounds about right on first take. So,
because if you sway somebody's character enough, future employers are going to be looking at that, and they're going to take a second look. They're going to be like, pumping the brakes, and it's going to hurt your future endeavors to become employed. So you have a right to go after the teacher that's
and for those in the chat, I'm not saying I believe in that theory or not. I'm just reporting on what I heard TD express. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't made up my mind. Yet. I haven't told you how I feel about it. I'm just reporting what was said on that.
We'll definitely talk about that Friday.
Yeah. I got to think about it a little bit more. I got to let it roll over my head. So,
But real quickly, Stephon Diggs had 6 receptions for 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Kincaid had 8 receptions, 75 yards for 0 touchdowns.
I thought he had the most. I thought Kincaid was the most, but and Gabe
Davis, 75 yards. 75
yards.
Yeah, 75 yards.
Well, Gabe Davis, what he had?
6 yards for 1 reception.
Right. Okay.
Trent Sherfield, he had 1 reception for 5.
Down.
That was a good pickup. So.
Right. Okay. It's gonna be interesting on the boundary.
I mean, look. If you look at the, I want you to look at something further. Look, that I talked about what they did to, the Buffalo's 1s and 2s, right? Let's like you said, like you always say, it's about what they did to us, right? So now, and which lucky is, I have what they did to us, right?
Right.
So let's look at our 1 to 2 and our tight end. Our Waddle had 86 yards, 4 receptions for 86 yards. Our number one receiver, which we all know it's what Devontae Parker. No, sorry, that's for. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong team. Tyreek Hill had 5 receptions for 40 yards, 1 touchdown, and I'm not gonna say. Durham Smith had 23 yards. So
that was the second behind Tyreek.
Waddle was 86 yards, 4 receptions for
Mm-hmm.
86 yards. Tyreek had 5 receptions for 40 yards. Craycraft had 2 receptions for 34. Braxton Berrios had 2 for 28. So
I remember that catch he made. Yep, no, that was that one. Most of it came in that one big catch down the sideline. I remember that one
for sure.
Yeah, if I recall the tidbits I took from that game, New England Buffalo last weekend, it did seem that Josh Allen was going heavy towards his tight ends, both Kincaid and Knox. So I guess the stats kind of bear that out. So, and I think
I saw a lot of targeting Kincaid. Yeah.
And so the insight there may be, the way they're bracketing the outside receivers and allowing, the tight end is where the mismatch is. But that's probably where they're funneling, the offense, at least against Buffalo. They may change tactics against us, but we'll see. Tyreek not playing, if he's not, is going to be a huge factor in how, Belichick.
Which means they could hone in on Waddle. Yeah, they could try to focus on Waddle and make the third guy be the option.
Right. We'll just
tight end funnel everything to the tight ends.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. Because Belichick never likes getting beat by your best player. That's always been his philosophy since he started coaching. Your second and third person best player about to beat me. I can live with that. But which it happened in the first game. Our first best player didn't beat him. Tyreek didn't beat him that game. He lived with the fact that anybody else other than your best has beaten us.
All right. We have one more. Let's look at the Mac Jones. Let's see what Mac Jones has to say. Hopefully, he gives us a little more tidbit for this coming up game. Real quick, present.
Yeah, coming from a Macaroni Jones perspective, he did have a solid game. He's going to feel good about that result, walking out with that victory. As he recovered from a lot of criticism going into that game. So
he did.
Yeah.
For him to get a big win like that inside the division was big for him.
All right, here we go. And like the Bill Belichick press conference, this one is Dubby Energy drink. The Dubby Energy drink press conference. All smash, no crash. You click on the link below, you get your automatic 10%. Dubby Energy drink, great flavors. Just add a scoop to your glass of water, and boom, you get some energy with coffee extracts, vitamins B, and everything that you need to get natural energy without the jitters and crash. So Dubby Energy drink, it's in the link below. Get your Dubby Energy drink. And now, on with the press conference.
Like you're better, you or some of your teammates?
Probably David. Yeah.
He said he has never seen Star Wars, and I asked Hunter, have you ever seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
You've had a lot of criticism throughout this season about your performance, but what do you think Sunday's performance proved to not only you, but also to those critics?
Really just want to, build off the momentum and continue to do it, do it over and over again, stick to the process, have expectations for yourself, and don't pay attention to the other expectations. That's going to be big for me, and really starts in practice, right? Try to focus on how can you do it again, and how can you stack good days together, and that's going to be a very big focus for me this week.
By the way, listen, if you've listened to his voice, right, I'm telling you, if they ever do a remake or a reboot of Back to the Future, I nominate Mac Jones for the role of Marty McFly. Just saying.
Hey, I got a question. Does this kid remind you or look like Rick Scott with hair?
No.
And I'm talking about former Florida Governor Rick
Yeah,
Scott.
I want to insult. I want to
He
insult
does,
Mac.
bro. I'm looking at a picture of Rick Scott right now.
I know
and it
Rick
looks
Scott.
like
Rick
him
Scott
gone bald. I'm kidding.
Actually,
I'm
Rick,
not kidding.
if you want a clone of Rick Scott, you bring up a picture of Joe Philbin.
Well, I'm just saying this
Joe
guy
Philbin
actually
is
looks
definitely in the
like him
picture.
with hair. I'm not
Exactly.
kidding.
Joe Philbin and Rick Scott is identical
I don't
twins.
see it, bro. I don't see it.
You're right, Shake Money. Philbin and Rick Scott are like twins. They both
But,
got that Skeletor-like look to them.
They do.
I'll tell you, he'll be a Marty McFly for sure.
Doppelgangers. They could all act in the same movie on the life of Rick Scott or something. Different stages.
All right, here we go. Let's here we go. Let's
Your work on like improvements or for the next week when you come off such a positive win, positive outcome.
I always talk about the process and kind of what I do each week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then get ready on Saturday for the game. So regardless of what happens, it's a 1 week season every week, and we understand that here, and that's important to understand because you got to go out there and do it each week.
Hunter about Bill O'Brien, you mentioned that Bill is the same guy every day. His reputation is that it's the fiery guy. We haven't really seen that on the sidelines. Do you see that behind the scenes with sort of the?
Yeah, he does. He does have a lot of fire, and we all do, right? We love this game, and we got to do it, like I said, every week.
How important is his consistency?
Very important. That's definitely really the word of the week for us. How can we do it over and over again and put good days and good plays together is what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Does it help you and the team just to see the positive results? I mean, you work so hard at what you do, and you kind of got into a little funk there, but to see the positive results and take that, put that in the bank.
Yeah, just try and do it again and keep doing it until it becomes consistent, like he just said.
Mac, the Bills blitzed you a lot last week, and you handled it pretty well despite a new combo up front on the line. How can you continue, and what do you think you did well last week, and what do you want to improve on?
Yeah, Taylor, I think that's a good question. Biggest thing is like you said, just trusting everything. It's going to be different guys everywhere. We're going to play against different guys. Trust in my rules, trust in my process. They got a great defense that we're about to go up against, and obviously played against them earlier in the year. And they got talent everywhere. They got good coaching, and when you have both of those things in this league, you're going to have a good team. So definitely a big challenge.
You mentioned earlier about David Andrews' leadership and his presence this year with the young guys. He's pretty calm, and David's guy who uses a lot of passion, very tough guy. How are you seeing that calmness with his leadership with young players?
Yeah. David does a good job. Obviously, when you're an older player in your room, I feel like the knowledge and experience that you have can really help young people, and that's something that stood out to me. Regardless, receiver room with the older receivers or DBs or whatever. So, very good to have that on the team, and definitely has.
Hold on, I had to pause because when a legend enters your stratosphere, you got to acknowledge him. What's going on, EM?
Salute, Shake.
Wait
And
a minute, who's that?
Your microphone sounds low, bro. Just putting it out there.
I'm trying to figure out who that is. Who's that?
The legendary EM, the Texas Tornado.
EM. What does EM stand for?
Ether machine.
I'm hearing an echo.
Does my audio
No, you're getting feedback.
Okay, hang on. I'll back out and come back in.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's echo.
All right.
Seen a lot of plays, played in a lot of different games, so that's important to use someone like that as a resource.
You mentioned a few weeks ago your pre-snap checklist.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what was on that checklist, and kind of what your process is like.
Yeah, I don't really talk about it publicly, but definitely stick with what I do. There's a few things you can do. Every quarterback has some form of that, and for me, it's about keeping it simple. And like I said, do my job. If it's to hand it off. If it's to throw it. If it's to read RPO or whatnot, then read it out the right way. So try and just eliminate any errors and continue to stick to the process.
When Matthew Slater broke down the team in the huddle after the game, he used the word family. What do you think of that message, and why do you think he chose that?
Yeah, it was good. I really liked it. Yeah.
Mac, have you seen Pop Douglas kind of stress defenses, especially when he was put in motion as much as he was on Sunday?
Yeah, Pop's done a good job. Definitely enjoyed that part of the game. Just focus on, how can we do that to, get guys open, create areas in the defense that become open because of that. And you see that around the NFL. A lot of teams use motion. High school football, it's big now. College football, it's been big for a while. So definitely enjoy watching other teams use it as well. And, what can you learn from that information?
Sticking with Pop. Just sticking with Pop after he had that fumble early in the season, what did you see from him and bouncing back from that, and how has your confidence grown in him, especially after seeing him play the way he did on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I've known of him since I was little, and I know that he's always, fought an uphill battle. He always talks about his size, right? And he's always going to keep fighting, and I know that about him. And I can be hard on him and try and raise that standard because I know where he comes from. I know, how hard he works, and he's going to bring it every week.
Chunk plays and just big plays that you got 14 or more, 14 plays of 10 yards or more. How important is that for you to do that as an offense after having, I think, 10 combined in the previous 2 games? Yeah, it's good. Just want to try and do it again. What did we do well, and how can you replicate that? And then what did we not do well, and how can you learn from it?
We heard from Elle this morning on Jalen and just what he's seen from him. What are some things that you've noticed from Jalen since he's joined the team? Jalen Rager, yeah. He's great. Jalen, seen him in college, seen his college tape, and he's a very fast football player, does a great job, learning the playbook quickly. And one of the other things is in practice, just how impressive he is, getting open, finishing, catching the ball. So really have a lot of respect for him and how he works, and hopefully, he can continue to grow. He had that orange juice roll during Sunday's game. Is that just what kind of led to that you've noticed?
Like I said, just really good practice habits, and he definitely shows, speed, route running ability, knowing the plays, all that stuff. So just needs to continue to do that and be out there.
What do you think about the game from your perspective and the offense as a whole? What is this going to come down to specifically?
Hey, by the way, we got the GOAT in boxing takes. What's going on, Esther?
What's going on? What's going on, Shake? Man, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
That's the pen. What's up, bro?
What's going
Texas
on?
in the house. Both him and EM, Texas in the house, huh? But yeah,
Esther don't know a goddamn thing about boxing.
We got a few minutes until the massacre that the Spurs about to lay on the NBA.
Man, stop, Esther. Stop.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but hey, Shake, the reason why I asked you to pause here was did you see the stats on that guy, Jalen Rager? Did he have some hookups with Mac Jones in the last game? I didn't register those. And then also, another weird thing the New England Patriots did this past week was they ended up cutting Malik Cunningham. And up until they cut him, there was all this hype that he was going to, potentially come in and be an X factor for them, even, taking some snaps away from Mac Jones at quarterback. But something happened. I haven't seen or heard what happened with Malik Cunningham, how his flame just got extinguished so quickly. After being such a hot name leading up into the week.
They released him today.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there.
It was kind of weird. They signed him to a 3-year deal and then cut him. I didn't get
exactly. Yeah, they signed him a 3-year deal last week and then they cut him this week.
That's so like Patriots.
He probably drank Bill Belichick's chocolate milk, probably.
Right.
All right, check this out. Oh my God, look at this these stats. All right,
I'm sorry, he could have been their decoy in practice for an athletic quarterback to practice against Josh Allen.
All right, here we go. The Texas Tornado himself. Hopefully he his mic is a little better. What's going on, EM? Are you there?
Hey, how does my audio sound now?
Great, perfect. Crystal clear.
That's what's up. Salute, gentlemen. Salute.
He drank his Dubby, Shake. Now you can hear him.
Hey, by the way, real quickly, Devontae Parker, Crypto's favorite, 1 reception for 8 yards. Mike Gesicki, 2 receptions for 5 yards, and of course and 2, and then of course Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne had 63. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne had 63 yards and Douglas had 54. So I mean, they weren't lining it up on
that you know what, Shake? That must mean Mac Jones ain't overcoming his team, huh? That's what that means.
Right.
He ain't overcoming.
Right. But I tell you though, I did call in the game last week. I did call that guy's Douglas's name quite a bit, man.
I don't know, Ezekiel Elliott. Did he have a coming out party yesterday?
Yeah, he did. He had a whole 31 yards.
Gashing. I mean, but he was gashing when they needed him to. He was coming in and gashing the defense when they needed him to.
Yeah, he had a whole 31
the running
yards,
game was up. That's what was up.
And Robin Stevenson had a whole 34. So,
how many touchdowns did they have running?
Touchdowns. Ezekiel had one, and that's it. One touchdown, and there's two touchdowns in the passing game. That was Kendrick Bourne had one, and of course Mike Gesicki for the last one.
Mike Gesicki for the last one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let me finish this press conference, and then we'll get into whatever guys you want to talk about
on Sunday.
Yeah, we always talk about that in the offensive meeting room and with the team and everything. So it's important to play with a mentality and. Like we always talk about, run the ball, throw the ball, whatever we have to do as an offense to win, we're going to try and do it really well. Cool. Thanks.
That's what's up. All right. And that was the W Energy press conference. And
I used to think Tua sounded like a little bitch, but damn, Mac Jones sounds like the biggest little bitch.
Hey, EM. So-called legend EM himself. EM, how do you think we're gonna overcome 3 offensive linemen missing, Tyreek Hill missing, maybe Raheem Mostert? How can Tua overcome that? Because you know, supposedly Tua's the only one that can't overcome that. Everybody else thinks And again, there's no shot at everybody's panel. I'm just saying from what I've heard already so far on Twitter and Spaces and stuff. Every other quarterback in the league can overcome, but Tua obviously he cannot. So, EM, in your professional opinion, how can Tua overcome those things?
Well, first and foremost, we got to consider in the quality opponent that he's facing, right? Like last week, obviously we played the Philadelphia Eagles and we were vastly undermanned. I mean, that would have been a tall tale for any quarterback. Mahomes at the top of the list included. To be down 3 starters on your O-line, Waddle in and out of the lineup. You don't have your defense fully intact. Then on top of that, the defensive side of football is in the process of trying to learn a new scheme, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That would have been a tall task for any quarterback to go into a hostile environment and come out with a victory. So first and foremost, it starts with the quality opponent. But I've heard this narrative about with Tua, because I think where it comes from, I think at the root cause of this narrative, right? When you hear people trying to sell this narrative about, well, they just feel like Tua is more of a byproduct of what he has around him, as opposed to him really being at the, his talent, and his performance being at the highest level. They think it's all about what he has around him. And I've been consistent about that. Whenever people try to sell that narrative and they have that mindset about Tua, I just think it's damn, I lost my train of thought. My bad. I'm distracted right now. Hang on. Let me gather my thoughts. What was I saying now? Tua, where was I at?
About the narrative of him being not win without support.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Hang on.
Damn, get rid of them damn javelinas, goddammit.
What'd you say about habaneros?
No, he got these fighting damn javelinas and shit.
All right, I'm good. Yeah, it's like name me the quarterback, the great quarterback that don't have support, that don't have high-end weapons. I always used to when I've engaged with people about this specific issue with Tua, right? Tom Brady, the greatest we've ever seen. His last year in New England, everybody named Mama and a dog was calling him washed, right? They did not invest. Bill Belichick chose to not invest big on that side of the football. right, against Brady's wishes, because we all know how that season unfolded. Brady was crying, was in the news, and he was screaming at the top of his, with the top of his voice, and begging them to bring in offensive players. And they chose not to do that, right? And his play took a decline that year, and which caused a lot of people to think he was washed. Now, when he leaves there and he goes to Tampa, and they support him properly because Brady is a made man. He's proven himself in the league, right, that he can perform at the highest level. But he goes there, they support him properly. He's in the history books. He has a historic season, and they win the Super Bowl. So I don't
And can I add this real quick? And add the fact that he saw Tampa Bay. Yeah, everybody talks about Jameis Winston's 30 interceptions, but they don't mention the fact that he had 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. 5,000 yards in itself is fucking impossible to get.
I mean exactly, Shake. But this narrative, like that Tua is the only one that needs support, it's fucking ridiculous. No quarterback is going to be at their best without their top guys. It don't happen. That's not how this game works, right? This game is too much talent in this fucking league. These are some of the smartest people in the fucking world, bro. It don't happen. So this narrative that I'm hearing about, oh, well, no shot at KP, but KP is the one that brought this up about, well, we're going to see, who Tua truly is. Bro, like, it's like, and again, I'm not saying that was your point, that was your intentions, KP, but it seems like it seems like a lot of people, and again, I'm not necessarily calling out one person on this panel, but it just appears like these individuals that never were a fan of Tua, never wanted Tua, they're just waiting, right, to see a scenario like this to unfold, and Tyreek won't be in the equation probably this week. We don't know how long he's going to be out. But they think he's a byproduct of what he has around him. And when you make comments like that, bro, that just tells me, and I've heard KP as well as others come out here recently and say, well, yeah, we think Tua's a franchise guy. We think Tua, he's improved with leaps and bounds, etc. But when you come out and you say narratives like, oh, well, now that Tyreek is gone, well, now we're going to see what he really is. That tells me that you're not really believing, you're not of the belief that of the things that you've come out consistently and said. Okay.
Damn right.
So
I'm not one of those guys who's going to be on the fucking bandwagon and jocking no player and call him the greatest before I see the results and it manifests.
But KP, I heard you, right? I've heard you recently.
Okay.
I've heard you recently say that you feel like he's passed your test. You consider him a franchise quarterback. That's not saying he's the best. That's not saying he's the best quarterback ever. That's just saying the man.
Well, honestly, that's what my comments were speaking against. Those who say he is the left arm of God, the greatest quarterback in this league, and that kind of talk does tend to dominate certain spaces. I'm not saying that Tua has not improved. I've given that guy all the credit in the world. I've seen superlative play from him, his command, his timing, his anticipation. All of these things are at the height of at the highest levels right now. All I'm suggesting is that now, take away Tyreek, who the majority of those timing routes are designed for. Now we have to see whether the quarterback individually has reached that level of an MVP level quarterback. There are quarterbacks who've been in bad situations whose talent still shines through. Quarterbacks throughout the history of the NFL have played sometimes on without players around them. Dan Marino had a few of those years. Like you said, Tom Brady in that last year. But their talent as a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback was still able to shine through. And last thing I'm going to say is I never denied or said that I don't believe Tua is that guy. All I'm saying is that now, if this is the case that Tyreek is going to be out for some extended time, right, and we still have some trouble on the O-line, that now this will be a time where we can judge that, or we can see that.
Well, no, that's not what you said, KP. What you said.
No, that's exactly what I said.
No,
that's exactly what I said.
Okay, hang on. Let me finish. These are your words, not mine. What you if I heard you correctly, right? You said, now we're going to see if Tua is really now that Tyreek is gone.
Yes.
Right? Now we're going to see. We're going to see. And again, if you've already confirmed him, right? If you've already made him, went through the ceremony, pricked his finger, had, burned the whole prayer card in his hand and everything. He went through the whole ceremony, right? And you confirmed him as a franchise guy. Well, then you would make statements like that. Well, now that Tyreek is not there, we'll see if Tua is really a guy. You know what I'm saying?
No. I don't. I think we have two different philosophies then, because my acknowledgement of his impressed play this season was always contingent on the players around him. Right? He's, like I said, within the system, Tua is operating the system at a higher level. If you heard my comments from a couple days ago, even after I was impressed with how he threw the ball around 2 weeks ago, I even then posed the question, and other people could probably vouch for this, that I still think that there's another element that needs to be added to his game, which is to make those plays off platform and to make those plays that the great ones tend to make. When nothing is there, what kind of offense can you produce? So that was my acknowledgement that he's reached the heights of a system quarterback.
So again, well then don't come out and see if you feel that way. All I'm saying is, look, no matter what side of the fence you on, just stand on that. When you come out and hang on.
Hold on. Where have I retracted? I acknowledge that what you said is exact. I said, now we will see what he's the man. And that's exactly where I stand. You have not changed that one iota.
Hang on. So when you come out and you say that you confirmed him as a court, because I've heard you say it, right? Multiple times.
Within the system.
No. Well, you need to clarify what you mean.
I'm doing that. If you didn't get it before, I'm telling you right now. My comments were always geared towards his facilitation.
But I never heard that. But I never heard you say that, though. What you said was
around him. When I say he has got command and mastery of this offense, when I say that means specifically within the context of the players around him now and the system that he's running. I said Tua looks like a guy who's mastered this system and has earned confidence in the players around him, where his timing, his anticipation, all these things are on fleek. But even then, I said, but there's another level to quarterback play that I need to see him reach. And I made it a point to be specific about that. I need to see him off platform when plays break down, still be able to generate offense.
Hang on real quick. Let me address them real quick, Esther. So again, to clarify, so I'm clear, I never heard you add that. What you just added to your statement, I never heard you say that previously.
I said that on Twitter and on YouTube.
Well, I haven't heard you, so that's the place that I'm coming from, because I thought the last time we was on a panel together, like, you basically were saying Tua is a franchise. You confirmed him, right? These are not my words; these are your words. And you did not add what you just added to that portion of the conversation. You were like, Tua is this. I'm impressed with him, et cetera, period. You didn't say nothing about, he's within this system and he's a byproduct. Basically, what you're saying, he's a byproduct of what he has around him. So that's telling me, if you feel that way, well, then he's not a true franchise quarterback. Right.
That's not my only difference with what you're saying now is that if the scenario plays out where Tyreek is not here and the offensive line continues to go through the trouble that's gone through versus injuries, that this is the exact testing ground for that. I will acknowledge that he's raised his game up several levels and he was operating the offense at an impressive level. But now, without the benefits of having these, great accoutrements around him, being comfortable, this is when the real great quarterbacks will separate themselves from others. That's where that's been consistently on my line for the last 2 weeks.
Okay, well, it might have been a little longer. It might have been longer than 2 weeks the last time we was on the panel and I heard you talk about this.
I can give you sources. You can talk to Mountie Fins. I talked to him maybe 2 days ago where I said this. I think color was up when I made these comments. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or whether it was on YouTube or Twitter, but this has been my track. Okay, and honestly, this is just consistent with my football philosophy in general. I think players who are capable of dominating, mastering a system, right? They can put up numbers, right? We've had quarterbacks put up numbers before, but there's another echelon when you really talk about great quarterbacks. I think that guy in Kansas City is one, and one of the things that we see from him.
You can make a case that he's the only one if you take away the elite talent from him, his play elevated. There is no other quarterback in history of the league that I'm aware of that has transpired. Not one.
Well, hold on. And I want to throw this in there. What happened? What happened when week 1 when they played Detroit and they had no Kelsey? Just saying.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah. He did not look like himself. They lost that game, by the way.
Well, I would say this: when you look at Mahomes and his ability to make plays outside of the pocket, which is what exactly I'm looking for, off platform, right? He consistently attempts and makes a great deal of those plays. And to me, that's what defines. Even when you look at how the Philadelphia Eagles defeated us in this past game, and I'm saying Jalen Hurts is in this category. I'm not saying he's better than Tua either. Right, I've been a critic of Jalen Hurts from an accuracy standpoint, from his just as a passer, but overall, he's a good quarterback. But but what I'm suggesting is that I saw Jalen Hurts make that play in that AJ Brown touchdown in this past week, and I need to see Tua outside of the framework of our system make more. I'm not saying he has to make it at every play. I'm not going to even say that he has to make it at a level of a Mahomes or anybody else. But I think that's another level to his game that still needs to be added before we start passing around the label of greatness.
And that's fine. Well, that's fine, but also I got a major issue with not only but a lot of people feel that way. Well, if you take away, talent away from a player, okay, well then that we can better assess what level that player is playing at. That is ridiculous to even formulate that. Bro, again, name me the quarterback. Hang on, KP. I'll let you talk. Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you. Let me speak. Show me again, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, right, where you took elite, and he still had an elite weapon with Travis Kelce. Arguably, he might be the greatest tight end we've ever seen. Right, he's got the best O-line in football, right? So let's not act like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have. He's absolutely working with nothing. Right, offensively. So at the end of the day, but you can make a case that you take an elite weapon like Tyreek Hill away from him and his overall level of play elevates. You cannot show me. I'm waiting. Please show me the example of the quarterback in the history, the 100+ year history of the NFL, to where you took away weapons like they don't even necessarily have to be on the level of Tyreek, but quality weapons away from a player at that position, and their play elevates. That does not happen.
It does. And I can give you an answer right away.
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
John Elway for the majority of his career was I don't like to use the word sabotage, but held back by the talent around him in that Dan Reeves system in Denver.
You forget about the three amigos? You forget about the three amigos?
The three amigos were never the greatest.
He had two.
They were good, but they were never great.
Two of those wide receivers, they had 1,000. Two of those guys. Two of those guys had 1,000-yard seasons together.
That was a good group of receivers. They were not great.
So again, like I said, Hall of Fame. They were quality players. They were quality players.
Tyreek Hill is a Hall of Fame essential talent, and he and his gravitational pull, to Rob Crypto's verbiage, right, has to be acknowledged as a factor in this offense, especially with the percentage of plays that look his way. Okay, he is the focal point of our passing attack. Now, the wonderful surprise this season has been the space that our running game, because of the superior offensive line play in the running game, has brought to this offense. I think, and I've said this from early on too, that is the dimension that's really made our offense borderline unstoppable when all things are equal and everybody's healthy. With that running game and Tyreek Hill, our offense is it's unstoppable. But all I'm saying, and again, I want to say this too, because I feel I'm getting drawn into making a statement about Tua that I did not make. I'm not saying Tua is not that guy or will not achieve that status. All I'm saying is that now, if it happens that Tyreek Hill's not there, he will have a chance to show his mettle as a potential, MVP type quarterback, Hall of Fame type quarterback, which may not necessarily be a franchise quarterback. I think I'm talking about a step higher than a franchise quarterback, to be honest.
Well, for me, right, when you take a player, the talent of Tyreek Hill away from it, again, Mahomes is an anomaly. But again, my expectation of Tua is that he perform well, right, with what he has. Mm-hmm. But it's just unrealistic to really have the mindset that you take Tyreek away from anybody other than Patrick Mahomes, and they're still going to perform at an MVP level.
Okay, let's
That
end
is
this
the
here.
point
Then.
that I'm making.
Do you agree that that Tua is not at the Patrick Mahomes level at this point?
I would, the numbers say otherwise, but no. At the end of the day, I look at his talent level, his ability to consistently extend. No, I
there's
don't
no
think.
argument
I
with.
still would
Well,
give.
then
I
there's
still
no
would give the
argument with our
edge to
position.
Pat Mahomes. What's
Then,
that?
then me and you have no argument because that's what I'm saying. And what's happening in this community is that some people are saying Tua is better than Mahomes. That is a debate
No.
that's been had in
Well,
these spaces.
you ain't never heard me say that. You
No,
ain't
I'm
never
not,
heard me say
and I'm
that.
not the one charging you. I never said you said it, EM, and I would not charge you with saying that because I know how responsible you are with your takes. I very much respect your takes, but but that's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
And just to add, I would say Aaron Rodgers is another guy throughout his career who's proven to be a Hall of Fame exceptional guy, even when he didn't have the talent around him.
Yeah. All right. I want to add two things to that. Number one, I think people were saying that this year Tua is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL. This year, they're not saying body of work. They're just stating this year with the numbers.
Yeah,
that's correct, Shay. But they muddy the waters. They'll say it and then have the. You're right. They'll muddy the waters.
But you know, two things can be true. My bad, Shay. Go ahead, Shay. Go ahead, Shay.
And last thing I want to say, when you talk about Tom Brady and you talk about Aaron Rodgers elevating the players around him, you got to realize they did this in year 15, 16, not year 4.
That is true too. I acknowledge that. And again, I'm not saying Tua will never be that guy. I'm saying that the conditions as they are present that challenge to him at his young career in year 4. I never said that Tua cannot be that guy and will not prove us wrong.
But you know, KP. But you know, KP. When they say again, and I'm not saying you, I'm not singling you out. I'm just saying in general because I've had this conversation with many people. But when people come from the perspective of, okay, well, this player is just a byproduct. Let's say 80% of what he has around him. I just don't see how people can automatically come to that conclusion because you get a player, right? That again, and I'm not here to say that talent, does not help. Every great quarterback has had quality talent around him. But where I think Tua is starting to, and it started last year, where he's starting to distinguish himself. You get a guy, right? And again, Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill. He had obviously Travis Kelce. He's been on dominant offensive teams. And by the way, he's got arguably the greatest signal caller ever, right? But he's never, and again, even in his MVP years, right? He wasn't dominating every single category, every metric that you can use to figure out, engage, get a better understanding of how high a level a quarterback is playing. He never reached them levels that Tua was on last year. The trajectory he was on last year and this year. No, he was close. But
last year's Mahomes numbers were. He was only like a 0.2 percentage off from the actual total QBR rating.
But did he exceed? Did he exceed Tua?
No, he didn't exceed it. But you
okay, then. Well, that's my point. That's my point.
Night and day. It was like a.
See, you're making an assumption. You're making an assumption. Crypto. Just address what comes out of my mouth, bro. Don't try to put words in my mouth.
Well, are you?
What I'm saying is. Did I say that? Did I say that? Did you hear me say that? Okay, then. Well, why are you automatically coming to the? You automatically came to that conclusion. That's the point that I was trying to make, and it was not. I'm just saying, with Tua, it's what he's done has been unprecedented, right? In terms of the numbers that he is putting up, and you can say what you want. It's about, but again, Mahomes was in a similar situation, right? Arguably the greatest play caller, talent around him, et cetera, and he didn't exceed the numbers that Tua has. That Tua's been putting up last year as well as this year. That is just a fact. Was his offense? Were they on a historic pace at any stretch? Right?
Yes.
During
the Mahomes numbers were. Yes.
No, I'm talking about them as an offense overall. I'm talking about them as an offense overall.
Here's my counter to that.
Personal records were. And guess what? And
let me
guess what?
finish.
Yeah,
let
I
me
was gonna
finish.
say.
Let me finish.
I
Let me
was gonna
finish
say
real
this.
quick. Let me finish.
Nobody in Kansas City, while Tyreek was there, was on the level of Jalen Waddle as far as the speed talent and sucking gravity out of the oxygen out of the room. On the other side, complicating it for defensive coordinators. You can say you all want about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is not the speed demon that Waddle is.
But
And when him and Tyreek was
he's a
there,
safety
they're
blanket. He's a
not.
safety
It's
blanket.
not compared to
All
that.
right. Well, that's fair. That's a fair point to make,
As
right?
far as
But
spacing goes,
they
then you can get more yards out to the catch.
he had McCall. How long did McCall Hardman play on that team? And McCall Hardman is just
Stop
as
it.
fast as
McCall
Kyrie
Harmon is
Watt.
not in the same freaking league as Waddle as
You
far as
said
the overall talent.
speed. You said speed. You said
Okay,
speed.
speed, but talent together.
No. But you said
collectively.
speed. No. You said speed. Crypto. I'm addressing what you
Okay, is he
said. You didn't
faster?
say nothing
Okay, is he
about talent.
faster than Waddle? Is he
He's
faster?
just as fast as Waddle.
Does he take as much oxygen out of the room as Waddle do?
And what? Let me tell you something. The year he had Patrick Mahomes had his MVP, and this is what I could tell. The Kansas City Chiefs offense started dropping off when they had Hunt as well. Hunt was fat.
He was the leading rusher, and he was a leading rusher. And you talking about Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, before he got kicked off the team for that incident.
So Patrick Mahomes had the NFL leading rusher at his disposal too. By the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I think the discussion boils down to two different things. My comment goes against the talk of the automatic Hall of Fame status that should be attached to Tua. And I agree with that. And that's where my commentary was focused against that conversation. I have no doubt that he can win the MVP this season, just like perhaps a Dante Culpepper in that Minnesota system looked like an MVP throwing to the talent around him. Randy Moss, Jake Reed, Chris Carter, Robert Smith out the backfield, Steve Jordan at the tight end. My comment is not that Tua is not performing at a MVP-like level and cannot win the MVP this season. He surely can. But a Hall of Fame quarterback, a top-level quarterback's talent, you can't make that. You can't come to that conclusion, right? It's so much more. I mean, he's only been in the league 4 years. 4 years. And again, and I'm with you. I'm with you from he's not that guy. And I'm with you from that perspective, KP. However, my only counter are to, and I'm not saying you are, but again, when people have this, they want to assign the reason why we're seeing the elevated play from Tua. They don't want to give him any credit at all. They just want to say, oh, it's a byproduct of Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, anybody back there. You can put anybody back there and they're gonna put up numbers.
As you acknowledge,
I have given him that credit. I have given him that credit this season. Every time I've spoken, I've acknowledged Tua's improved play in all assets. Let's just give him credit. Let's just give him credit for his the amount. But you realize, Ian, that my position is not that far from the national narrative, and I understand how the national narrative does frustrate some Dolphin, homers who want to see Tua in the light of a Dan Marino, of a Hall of Fame guy.
Let me help clarify the whole argument because it's a cross between Hold on, it's a cross between what Ian's saying. It boils down to this question: who would you rather have with your wide receivers? Tom Brady with Deion Branch paired, or Zach Wilson paired with Deion Branch to win the Super Bowl? Who's most likely to get there for you? That tells you the levels of it. Would Zach Wilson win with Deion Branch as his wide receiver, or would Tom Brady win with Deion Branch as his wide receiver? That tells you that, yeah, they all need talent, but there's levels to the talent one given quarterback need versus the other. Because I'm taking Tom Brady over Zach Wilson with Deion Branch and any day of the week.
But the guy you're talking about is the greatest we've ever seen, bro. Why are you automatically?
Okay, I won't say him. I'll say freaking Dak Prescott is better than Zach Wilson with Deion Branch.
No. Well, I might be misunderstanding what your point is. Hang on.
My point is that who
how
would
is this
you rather
relative
have
to
as
Tua?
your quarterback?
But how is this
Because
relative?
there's levels to when y'all muddy the waters by saying, just throwing a blanket statement out there by saying every quarterback needs talent. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But every quarterback can go far with certain levels of talent.
99.9% of the quarterbacks that's ever played in this game, with the exception of one guy,
they don't need Hall of Fame players.
So you're gonna, bro, like didn't Ben Roethlisberger have Hall of Fame guys? Didn't Peyton Manning? What? Hines Ward is not in the Hall of Fame.
Was it okay?
Antonio Brown.
Where's he paired? Where's the other one?
Antonio Brown is not Hall of Fame worthy. Santonio
He's
Holmes
there.
was not a Pro Bowl guy. Peyton Manning, he didn't have
ain't
Hall of
there.
Fame. Peyton Manning didn't have Hall of Fame guys.
A pair of them, or a litany of them.
It don't. He's for the duration of his fucking career, he's always had top flight talent. Always.
Man, I just
Okay, once again, there's different levels to what quarterback.
So you're comparing. So you're holding Tua. So you're holding Tua to the standard of the greatest we've ever seen do it.
That's not holding them to that standard. I gave that
That's
example.
exactly what you're doing.
No. Crypto's not
No,
holding
it's
him to that standard.
not.
That's what
I'm
the
not
people
holding
in
to
the
that
community
standard.
are
I'm
saying
saying
about
there's
him.
levels to it.
The people are saying that in the community. They're the ones raising that standard on Tua. They're saying you. If you do not give him that status, something's wrong with you.
No.
happening.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you make the statement that it's other quarterbacks that have elevated and overcome lack of talent. Yes, you are holding Tua because this conversation started, correct me if I'm wrong, was about now that Tyreek Hill is not going to be in the starting lineup. Well, now we'll see who Tua truly is.
Well,
so when you come back, come back and make statements like that, absolutely you're holding him to you. That's the guy that you named. You named Brady.
But
so you are holding to that standard.
Saying that now we will see is not the same as saying he will not. Saying now we will see
I use that
is
as
not
an
the same as
example
saying
for
he will not.
clarification.
Asking the question is being interpreted as saying he cannot, he will not, and that's the leap you're making, PM, and that's where you're wrong. I have not said that he cannot and that he will not.
Well, you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me to? You mean to tell? Hang on, real quick, Esther. Let me just real quick. I promise. So you mean to tell me at all the conversations you don't have with Crypto publicly and privately, you mean to tell me he's not on the side of the fence where there's might be just an ounce of doubt about who Tua truly is?
What's wrong with having doubt?
First of all,
Okay.
First of all, I'm here right now, and I told you my position.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sitting here right now. I told you what my position is. There's nothing he can do in the regular season that'll change my mind. He's already solved the fucking regular season matrix. It's what I kept saying. That's my position. I'm waiting for him to complete it for the fucking playoffs. There's nothing he can do wrong in the regular season. He's
Turn up, Crypto. Turn up, Crypto.
That's my position.
Damn.
Turn up, Crypto. Turn up, goddammit. So my point is,
honestly, Ian, what is wrong with having a little doubt?
Nobody's saying nobody's saying that, but again,
there's no doubt for me. Once again, KP, there's no doubt in any regular season expedition games. I'm waiting for the final test in the playoffs.
Right.
That's it.
Hold on. Esther been trying to say something for a while.
He passed all regular season tests to me. He cannot fail.
My bad, Esther.
The
Go ahead.
exam is turned in.
I'll finish putting Crypto to sleep when you get done. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, just personally, I never get to get on these platforms. Or I really don't have time. And for the longest time, I haven't been able to do StreamYard. I haven't been able to connect. But if I just give my take on the way the season's going, I really don't have a lot of criticism for Tua because I see the ball distribution and what KP was talking about earlier. I've been waiting for those off-platform throws, and he's actually doing it this year. I've
seen signs of him doing it.
He's doing it consistently. He does it at least every game. He gives you, less than a handful, but you don't. Quarterbacks don't necessarily have to do that every game. I think that for the most part, and I'm not making excuses, but from what I've seen,
no, you're not. Would you agree that those would be the kind of plays we needed in the Buffalo game and right now in the Philadelphia game?
Well, let me make a point real quick. Let me land because then everybody will understand
Go ahead,
whether I'm being objective, whether I'm being a homer. Because everybody knows that when that draft came around, I did want Joe Burrow, and I'll be honest with you. My bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So with the way that Tua's played this season, the way that I've seen him distribute the ball to Barrios and Smythe and all these, all these Mostert in the past game, all these other guys outside of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, every game, for what I've seen consistency. That's all I could ask for somebody playing the position. I'm not going to hold it against him that he's got elite talent for position players, because in my perspective, you still got to throw that damn ball. You still got to make it a catchable ball, and these guys are catching them. So my point that I would make to you, if you mentioned, Buffalo and Philly, was, damn, that's a damn near a upstream battle that you have, because you're literally getting assaulted from the interior of the offensive line. And I don't give a shit if it was Tom Brady. Not even Tom Brady is going to look like he is that guy when the pressure's coming up the middle with those kind of snaps that he's catching shit off the floor, still making plays. So in my opinion, I think Tua's
So
still
you're
doing.
saying expect a loss against good teams then. Just be good with it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, whenever you have an uphill battle with your offensive line, I am going to point the finger at what's going on with the offensive line. If you look at those games with Philly and Buffalo, it was like, shit, man. As soon as they snap the ball, everybody's there. You know what I mean?
I would say more so in the Buffalo game than the Philadelphia game. I think
no. You need to go back. You need to go back and watch that game, and you need to watch that game again, KP. Bro, he's
under constant duress. Like both of those games, constantly under duress. Every now and then he'll have a breather, and he'll complete. If you give Tua enough time, he'll complete some shit. But every quarterback, it's going to throw their consistency off for a game if they're starting to get pressure up the middle, man. Which is what, if you look at our defense,
I agree with you on that.
On the flip side, if you look at our defense, bro, like, we need to start getting there in 2 seconds up that gut. Like, we need to start doing that ourselves, so we have a chance to be that team that won.
That disrupts other offenses.
Yeah, that won the way Philly did. So me personally, I really don't have criticism for Tua like I did in the past.
I'm not criticizing Tua. Again, I think
y'all been killing Tua, KP. You crypto the whole crew. Damn well y'all been killing Tua.
All I've done is give the young
How the
man
hell I've been
praise
killing Tua and already JB bought
Hell yeah, and you know goddamn well, crypto, after the conversation we had the other day, goddamn it, you know damn well what I'm on right now.
I have not criticized Tua this season.
I ain't criticized nobody.
Hey, hold on.
Everybody gets a 1.9% blame for every loss we got.
And I agree, Crypto. Hold on one second.
Hold on, the chef is going to talk. What's up, chef?
I just want to come in here and say, this is, and I know I got kind of loud earlier, right? So I'm going to stay calm and try to say it.
You always loud, nigga. What you talking about?
Okay. Well, goddamn it, just let me be loud then. Goddamn it. Well, then I'll turn this bitch up then. But this is my fucking problem. And again,
well, I was saying the wrong thing. Yeah.
Turn up then, Lewis. Turn up.
It's not with anybody specific up here, right? But it's just in general. We're talking. I shouldn't even have to say that. We're just talking in general, right? But this is my fucking problem, because today on Twitter it was the same shit. When we started this conversation earlier. Well, without Tyreek Hill, now we'll get to see the real Tua, right? And see, I get it. When we watch as fans and Tua's throwing the ball to Tyreek, and Tyreek, whether it's a good pass or not, it's, oh, did you see what Tyreek did with the ball? That's all we do, right? And now that he's gone, people, it's easy to say, well, now what will Tua do? But this is my problem, right? And KP, I'm not, again, there's no shot at you, Crypto.
I'm hearing you.
I'm just talking about
real quick, Lou. Hey, hang on, Lou. Pull up that comment real quick. I see somebody in the chat down there. They talking about KP been known to a hater. Is that true, KP? I think it's that's that fool AB in the chat talking about.
If that's what he believes, then he's free to his opinion.
Let me get to my point, though, right? Let me get to my point, because this is the problem that I have with the fan base when they make comments like, "Well, now we're getting to see the real Tua." See, when Tua makes those dynamic throws like the one he did to Braxton Berrios in week 2 to New England.
I was the first one to call that out. I was the first one to give him praise on that throw.
And
It was
again,
me.
KP, KP,
Yes.
I didn't say you. I'm just saying we're talking in general, right? Just how you
No, to
say
give him
KP.
praise.
Okay, but
Okay,
KP,
but go ahead. Yeah.
but KP, you keep saying consistently when you were just talking to
No,
EM,
I
right?
just state that for the record. I'm just stating that for the
Yeah,
record.
and I get it. Listen, I'll give you credit. I was up on the panel when you said it. I'm just saying
Right.
what you were telling EM. You are going against the people that are saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes already. That's what you're saying, right?
Right. You cannot tell me, Lewis, you didn't have people today saying, oh, this
And I
guy
agree.
was made good because of Tua.
I agree. I agree with you, KP. But what I'm saying is that's how you were talking in general. That's what you were fighting against. Well, I'm fighting against the people that are saying, well, without Tyreek, you're going to see the real Tua. Well, I can argue you already have. Because when he's not throwing to Tua and he's making those dynamic throws to Braxton Berrios, that's not Tyreek Hill. On Sunday night in Philadelphia, he completed on 3rd and 15 an 18-yard out route, crossed the field. He was standing
That's
on the
a
left hash.
fact.
He was standing on the left hash, and he threw a dart to Cedric Wilson. That's not Tyreek Hill. And that's about a 30-yard pass in the air. And where did that ball hit Cedric Wilson? Right in the only position. So when we come out here, KP, and we say, well, what is Tua going to do? You've already seen it. But no one will give him credit for those throws. No one says that he arrived.
That's a fact.
That's
No.
bullshit, bro. It is bullshit what this
Well,
team
the thing
is
is,
That's a fact.
Lewis. But again, you're saying that as if I have not given him credit for those throws.
No,
and again,
I'm not talking about
I've been one of
KP.
I'm one of those who has given him credit and stated on the record as being impressed with those throws, seeing those throws as evidence of improvement, marked improvement, marked mastery. These are the things that I've said about Tua. All I'm suggesting now is that without the gravitational pull of Tyreek Hill, who is the obvious focal point of our passing attack, this will present a challenge. Just acknowledging that doesn't mean one is hating on Tua or doubting Tua. That's all. That will present a challenge.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
We got to be honest and admit that.
Okay, and you're absolutely right. Hold on, EM. This is where we kill him in this argument. We got Dolphin fans in the chat, KP. Let's call them out then. Look what Fred just put. I just told you about Braxton Berrios in one game. I just brought up Cedric Wilson in another game. Look at Fred. One game. You see what I'm saying, KP? So again,
I can't speak for anybody. I'm only speaking for myself.
But hold on, KP, you're right. You can't speak for everybody.
Yeah.
But when you're talking and making your point, you're making it seem like everybody is saying the same shit that what. Again, if you defend Tua, then people like, again, what you're doing, KP, on the other side of the argument, you can't have it both ways, bro. You got to sit here and admit that, okay, your point is valid. But when me and EM or other people will come out and give you points, and then you got idiots like fucking Fred saying one game. It's the same. The kid gets hate no matter what he does. They're never going to come over to the realization that, yes, Tua Tagovailoa in his first 2 years was trash. He was trash. There's no other way for me to fucking say it. The kid was trash, at least for me. I'm only speaking for me now. In my opinion, he was trash. But, bro, last year and this year, how can you keep saying that you can't? People like Fred that can't acknowledge the kid is balling.
And you know what, Lou, to kind of piggyback off your point, right? Fred ain't the only. Hang on, real quick. Hang on, real quick. Hang on.
Maybe below.
Hang on, real quick. Let me jump in here real quick. Fred ain't the only idiot out there, right? In the community, but you got a dumbass motherfucker like ABAB in the chat, right? See, they don't understand the nature, right, of evaluation. See, dumb motherfuckers like that, they never come up with any film. They never come up with any analytics, et cetera, to validate, again, when I'm coming from 2020 and 2021. They never come up with anything to validate why they stay in their feelings, why they begging to keep Tua, right? It's all emotion-based. I've always come from a film perspective. I've always issued that challenge to everybody, any nigga in this goddamn community. When I have been critical of Tua, I issued that challenge to everybody. And you know what? And I'm still waiting on somebody to pull up. So these fucking idiots like ABAB, again, he's on the other side of the Tua love, right? Tua, oh, I ain't forgot. I still hate fucking Tua. All you fucking idiots, right? I want all you motherfuckers purged from this goddamn community. But at the end of the day, real Dolphin fans, real football niggas in this community, bro, they keep it right. They keep it objective and they keep it all about the fucking film.
And let me just say this: there's nothing wrong with the conversation we've had. None of this conversation makes me think anything less of Lewis, of EM, because they're bringing concrete facts and objectivity to their position.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong. This is what a real football conversation sounds like. We're never all gonna agree on every little fact. You see what I'm saying? But we each can respect each other's position, right? And how we support our position with whatever relative argument we built to support our position. That's what it's all about for me.
To piggyback on EM and Lewis's point, I was just going to simply say, EM talked about the film-based perspective, and that's absolutely correct. And here's an example of the film-based perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong, EM. You basically was trying to say all the things that Tua could control, such as having reads, the proper reads, missing open guys or missing the proper read. Study going from 10 misreads a game, he increased it to, dropped it to only like 3 or 4 misreads a game, which is a dramatic increase in performance based on Tua and what he did.
100%.
That's basically what you're saying, Ian, from a film perspective.
Check down at a higher level of efficiency this season than ever before. Tua has improved.
Right.
There's no doubt about it.
He's not missing 10 reads per game like he did in his first 2 years. He's missing maybe 2 or 3. That's it at the most.
I'm always
that's the increase from a film-based perspective. I'm other athletic things, but that's
so I'm always coming from that perspective. Always, again, that's why I don't. Again, I know y'all been listening to me since 2019. I don't fall in love with players, bro. I learned my lesson years ago. I don't align myself. I'm not emotionally tied to any fucking player. Players come and go, coaches come and go. But the only thing that I'm emotionally tied to is that logo. So that's why I'm always frustrated with these dummies like ABAB, like a lot of these fucking idiots in this community, bro. Right? They're not, there's nothing analytical. There's nothing film-based about anything any of their projections that they've attempted to make about this fucking team and about this fucking player, right? It's all emotion. How the fuck can you respect anybody that is coming from 100% a place of emotion? How?
Man, I just want to say,
which is why ABAB, you don't have a place in this fucking community, you fucking idiot.
Hold on, let's not be emotional.
Exactly, ABAB.
But I know Shake had to remember back in the day when this draft went down and EM and how big I was on Burrow. And one of the things I told EM back in the day was, because, every year I felt it, man. I was like, I just hope this kid makes me forget about Burrow at some point. And I'll be honest with y'all, this season, he's making me forget about how much I love Burrow coming out of that draft.
He's regressed.
And
he has regressed.
That's no cap. That's 100%. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I'll watch Burrow, but like
he's regressed.
Tua's the guy, man. He's our quarterback, and he's for me to say something like that, man. That's there's no pride in what I'm saying. Man. I was. We can all be prideful, but I'm just
99% of this fan base was tanked for Tua.
And Esther, but Crypto, see what Esther just said there is real as hell, right? And let me explain why. Because Joe Burrow, when he got into the league, again, I was with KP, Crypto. I remember, I don't care about weapons. I don't care about none of that. We're talking about a specific player, Tua, and now Joe Burrow. See, Joe Burrow was great when he got into the league, right? So that's all everybody remembers now. But this year, to Esther's point, you see him, there's regression in his game.
Hey, hold up, Lou. Hold up, Lou. Hang on. Stop the fucking show real quick. Look at this Carla Williams female, right? She's white too. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Look at what she just put. I want everybody to see this, right? This racist motherfucker, right? And I don't give a fuck about you being a goddamn female. She's white, and she's saying EM is wrong about everything, not just to an EM is a low-life N-word. Look at this shit.
Wow.
Look at this. You know what, Cap? You should ban that fucking idiot from this goddamn place. Where's Cap at, goddammit? Where's Cap at right now? Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This shit is fucking ridiculous.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need an
Hey,
explanation. I
listen,
think
if
she
I could
did
show you
it.
guys my WhatsApp chat with my homies from this weekend, even in the Philadelphia game, you'll see me giving Tua all kind of superlative praise for his toughness, making throws under pressure, everything that you just acknowledged, Esther, about his game report. But that being said, maybe I have a tougher rubric than others, and that's in my mind that's okay, right? I still,
KP.
yeah.
We took an L.
But hold on,
I
KP.
can't believe this stupid bitch. I cannot believe this. I'm sorry. I can't believe this dumb bitch. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But hold on, KP, right there. See, again, what Esther was trying to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow was great his first 2 years, his 3 years, right? But we're talking about, again, just because now you're in your 4th year and you were great for 3 years, why when Joe Burrow has a bad game? Again, with all his weapons, Jamar Chase is out there. T. Higgins is out there. Tyler Boyd is out there. But no one says there's regression in his game now. No one says he's missing reads now that are there, but he's not throwing. They just remember, well, Joe Burrow, man, look, he was there in his first 2 years, so obviously he got a name now. No! The fact of the matter is, right now, today, going into week, 7
Hey,
of
we're
the
going to
NFL
week 8.
season?
Yeah.
Week 8 of the NFL season, Tua Tagovailoa is playing better than
Better than Joe Burrow at this stage. Yeah, but
that's what it is.
that
Why
is
is
an
it so hard to
objective,
say
fair
that?
assessment of where we are right now. But I mean, if you take a closer look at Joe Burrow, one might acknowledge his struggle coming into the preseason, into the season with a calf injury, right? And then the fact that their offense has stagnated. I mean, just to be fair to Joe Burrow,
Y'all wouldn't be giving Tua that benefit of the doubt.
Because why?
Y'all would not be giving Tua the benefit of the doubt.
But why? But he's earned that because he's been in 2 Super Bowls. And it's probably a certainty that by the end of the season, that very same Cincinnati Bengals team will probably be right there in the mix as things improve for them.
And that's fine. But
That's what going to 2 Super Bowls earns you. We have zero.
And that's fine. And I agree with you. You could say in his first 2 years, he made an AFC Championship game and a Super Bowl. That's not taken away. But week 8 of the 2023 season, Joe Burrow has been ass.
He's not as good as Tua so far this season.
Terrible.
That's just a fact.
But that's what I'm saying. But we're talking about 2023, KP. But everybody says, well, Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. What the fuck does that matter for 2023? The fact of the matter is, if you break down the games this season, the things that Tua has played, and again, I don't want to hear about injuries he was dealing with in the offseason. Tua came into the league with a fucking hip that he could end people's career, KP. And what did me and you, when we used to come on these panels 2 years ago, what did we say? I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But now, Joe Burrow, a Cincinnati Bengals, that KP, I know you're a Dolphin fan. I see you at fucking games. You know, but we're giving Joe Burrow passes? No! The man
Well, yeah, I would say yes.
I don't know if anybody's giving him a pass because
they giving Herbert.
Hey, y'all, the total context. That's all.
Y'all giving Herbert a pass.
Nobody gets a pass. Nobody gets a pass.
Y'all giving Herbert a pass.
Why
y'all giving Herbert
injured?
We
give X a pass for playing on bad hamstrings.
And
now they're
again,
trying to get him out the team.
And again, listen, and I was on that. Listen, hang on. Where's the criticism for Deshaun Watson, right? And again, I was on that train too. I was calling for Watson as well, right? Watson has clearly regressed. Deshaun Watson clearly has regressed for whatever reason.
He's regressed for injury prone, 700 days missing. Yeah, that's some regression there.
Well, call what you want.
Look at all the caveats.
No, that is literal regression.
Look at the caveats again. Unbelievable.
That is literal regression.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Can I add this about as far as Watson is concerned? If you look at Michael Vick after he served his sentence and came back to play, he was never that same Michael Vick, ever.
Never was.
No,
I mean,
he wasn't that same.
You got to factor that in, Jesus.
Well, no. Oh, but exactly, you didn't factor that in with Tua.
Factor that in for Tua though.
Tua never missed 700 days. Stop it.
No. It don't matter what the reason is. This is a results-based business, bro. All we care about is production on the field. I don't give a fuck about the reason why you're not producing, right? It is what it is. But y'all did not
You
give
can't
Tua that
ignore the
same.
reason why.
But you ignored all the you ignored all the issues that Tua was going through. You did that,
No
Crypto.
one did. I never ignored
Yes,
it.
you did. Stop,
Once
Crypto.
again, I already
Stop
told
it.
what my criteria was from. I was the only one
Stop
that said
it,
I don't give a
Crypto.
damn about injuries.
Stop
I'm
it,
the only
Crypto.
one in this goddamn fan base that said I
Stop
don't
it,
care.
Crypto.
I threw up the white flag when it come to injuries. It's
Calm
about
down, Crypto.
play on the field.
Lou,
I'm the
have
only
you
one said that.
Lou, have you
I'm the only one said I gave up the white flag because he'll never play a complete season. I'm not evaluating him based on his injuries. Stop it. I've been on many panels and many freaking platforms. There's enough audio tape of me saying that about Tua.
Okay,
And I don't give a damn about
Crypto.
his injuries. He can miss 20 games. I don't give a shit. And he can still become a franchise quarterback if he meets two things.
So my point is, Lou,
Great regular season play and great playoff play. I don't care if he misses 20 games.
out of all the conversations we've had publicly and privately with Crypto, have you ever heard him give Tua the benefit of the doubt over his injury? I mean, really, let's keep it 1,000.
I never give a damn about injuries.
I know I'm not crazy, but go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah, you are crazy.
I think with what Tua's done, because you can have a portion of the fan base that's being critical of him because of the weapons he has. But wasn't it last year that Carr had all those weapons, Adams and fucking Renfro, and
give a shit about his injuries?
He had everybody, and you look at what Tua has. There are examples of quarterbacks that have a ton of talent and don't get anything done. That's why I said earlier, me personally, I'm not going to fault Tua because you still got to make those throws. I think we're in the middle of a season where there still needs to be some patience. I know Dolphins fans don't like hearing that, but there needs to be some kind of patience as far as them getting better every week. I know we lost, but damn, just the fight that we still put up on the road, and we know that game was tight. And there was some bullshit that happened with the refs, and you know what I mean? It's just the NFL. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But as long as we can have, me personally as a fan, I just want us to have a really good record by the end of the season, because you got to work shit out within yourself as a team and get better. And hopefully by the end of the season, these two losses won't affect us. And I want, just like Crypto said earlier, the mystery for this team is how they're going to perform in the postseason, because that's when it matters. And we really need a postseason push, and we need guys to get healthy. So I don't know. I can really look past shit that happened. Obviously, it sucks because it's staring you in the face because we just came off of a loss. But
regular season's irrelevant. It's about the postseason.
Yeah, when you guys are talking about whether Tua's going to get injured or whether he's not going to get injured, I mean, I think
injuries is also irrelevant.
No one's brought
it's
that
about
up.
the postseason.
I would never wish that on anybody, especially not our own quarterback.
No,
I'm
that's not what I'm saying.
healthy.
I'm talking about the beatdown he took against the Bills, the hits that he took against the Eagles. I look at that kind of stuff, and there is such a thing as muscle memory. You know what I mean? And I feel like Tua's handled it well, and he's not injured now. You know what I mean? So he's dealing with a lot. We're dealing with a lot on the offensive line, man. And that center exchange for me, that shit sucks. You know what I mean?
And even the timing of the snaps too. Our timing is off with Liam at center. No one really mentioned that.
Because see, our quarterback playing at this level, and just like something simple, that's almost like we're directing that energy in the wrong place. Why aren't we directing that shit at management and the scouts and everybody that's supposed to bring players in? You know what I mean? How is it that you're still not prepared and you're going in with Eichenberg as your center? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody knows that that's what the real issue is. You know what I mean? You throw timing off of rhythm for a quarterback like this. I mean,
any quarterback, any fucking quarterback, this narrative that this is the only offense in the NFL, with the exception of San Francisco Kyle Shanahan's offense, is timing based. Every fucking offense is timing based, right? Every quarterback has to be on time, has to be on schedule, and have to be accurate delivering the football. That is a prerequisite of every fucking quarterback in the league. But at the end of the day, when you have people, right, they just again and again. I've never gone after people or really try to, give people shit over if they have a level of reservation about Tua's long term. Is he the guy? That's fine. That there's no problem with that. But at least come from a place, keep your feelings out of it. Come from a place of objectivity. Have some receipts, some statistics, some film attached to your opinion as to why you have why you have that level of reservation about the player. You know what I mean? And as long as you keep it that way, and again, it's just unfortunate that probably 98% of the fan base, see all these fucking idiots in the chat like you see in the night, they all in their feelings, bro. They come from a place of emotion, and they should all be purged out of this fucking community because they don't know this fucking game. They never will know this game until they stop leading with their emotions and start educating themselves, bro. So it is what it is. But I don't put KP. I'm not putting you in that category, KP. Maybe Crypto to some degree, but not you. But not you, KP.
I think y'all benefit from having somebody like me on the panel because I don't get to fill out the fan base. What the hell's going on? Is the criticism going towards Tua? Well, what are we talking about? Is there criticism? You know what I mean? Is it like disbelief in the quarterback or something? Because I don't know, man. I'm kind of hearing what y'all are saying, but like, is that what's happening? Are there people in the fan base that's just pointing the blame at Tua?
I'll put it like this for me: is next week a regular season game or a playoff game? A regular season game next week, right? At least for the next 10 weeks. At least for the next 10 weeks, right? Next week, is it a regular season game or a playoff game next week?
Oh, it's a regular. What are you talking about, Crypto? What's the point?
I'm getting to my point. I'm getting to my point to hone in where I was all what I'm getting to. If you exactly, which means we got 10 or 8 more after that. There's nothing, in my opinion, that Tua can do wrong in those 8 games. I don't care if he throws 20 interceptions in each game. Listen to me carefully. He's passed the regular season test to me in my mind. That box has been clearly checked. I don't give a shit if he throws 20 interceptions for the next 8 games. He's done. The regular season grade is over. The test is over on that part of his evaluation for me. I'm just waiting for the final grade and the final semester, and that's playoff victories.
Turn up, Crypto.
That's it. It's that simple.
Up, goddammit. Yeah.
His first semester is over as far as the evaluation for me as a quarterback. He passed it with flying colors. He's elite quarterback at the regular season level. Once he do it in the playoffs, then his grade is finally complete as far as the franchise guy for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Crypto. Esther, listen. There's no doubt that Tua is not playing at a top quarterback level this season. There's no question. Anybody who's questioned that is an effing idiot because they would be running against the reality of what the stats tell us and what we could see with our naked eyes this season. Is that clear, Esther? There's no doubt that Tua has become a legitimate franchise quarterback, to use EM's verbiage, when it comes to Tua, right? All my earlier quotes had to do with was, now, without your top weapon being out, with the shuffling going on in the O-line, can Tua maintain the high level of play that he showed thus far? That is just a question. Some people may have interpreted that as, doubt in Tua or hate for Tua.
That's why y'all got to.
I would say that is not true.
And that's why, KP, we all, me included, that's why I try to be as firm and clear in, my projections, my points about my takes, whatever you want to call them, about this team. Because people, the nature of the internet, you got a lot of these dumbass, right? Yeah. You got a lot of these, pardon my language, but these fucking idiots, like you see in the chat tonight, we see them show up every single night on these panels,
and that's
right?
Who I'm speaking
they don't
about.
know
That's
shit.
Exactly
so for them, you gotta be overly clear.
Talking about J.R. Black,
right? And
I'm talking about all these goddamn idiots. I'm talking about all these goddamn idiots. ABABs of the world. This fucking J. Hang on, real quick. Let me address this. Hang on. Let me address this fucking J idiot, right? He says, Big Nick asked the goof EM Dolphin fan why he employs the N-word every show. You know why? Because I can, bitch. That's why. I can, hoe ass nigga. I can. That's why. Now I dare you to do the same, ho. I dare you to do the same.
Right. And Esther, last thing, dude. In my mind, I'm always the kind of person where I am open to entertain questions. I don't want to shut off people who have questions, right? There are too many people in this community who take asking a question as you casting aspersions or you casting doubt on a person. No, when you ask a question, you ask it not knowing what the answer is, right? All I'm suggesting is that with the challenge that the scenario plays out, we want to see whether Tua is this guy or not. The guy he has shown you to be. That is not to suggest he's not what he is.
How many times have y'all heard on Twitter when somebody asks you a question, it's a fucking setup. It's never genuinely just a fucking question. What you just said is so spot on, man. No, I mean, I don't really, I'm not saying. I mean, I disagree with some of the stuff you said because I really, I mean, I look at statistics.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with you disagreeing.
I don't see what you're saying. I don't see that, man. I mean, I see the kids making off-platform throws. The degree of
see, I would disagree with you there. I think I need to see more in that department. But hey, we have a difference of opinion there.
Yeah,
but you know what?
The fact that he's even doing it though, because I mean, I'll put it this way: last year, if Tua had to make an off-platform throw, that shit was hitting the dirt. It was either wide receiver or it was out of bounds. He was not going to make a play. He was not.
Well, Esther didn't always hit the dirt. He did that against the Jets and 3 years ago when he had an off-platform to Matt Collins.
Now he's moving through
so
his
I mean, he just doesn't hit it at
you know what? You know what though?
You know that much better than he ever has before.
Yeah.
You know what, KP though? Listen, Leah, you want a quarterback that has that ability to get out of trouble when needed be. Right, but the energy, like the focus, needs to be on these goddamn O linemen, bro.
That's true. That's the main
these O linemen. The O line needs to stabilize because what we have seen from Tua, and you got to give him credit, bro. When you give him time, when you give him an opportunity, when the line is stabilized, he can perform at the highest level. You don't want to. You do not want to live in a place where your quarterback has to 1 out of every 3 play has to extend, get out of trouble, make a play. You don't want to live in that world.
Exactly.
You do not.
That is true. That is true.
And real quick, I'll land on this real quick. I just want to say this real quick. Yeah. I see one of my biggest fans, Little Nicky, in the chat. I hope he got his teeth in tonight. But go ahead, Crypto. My bad.
Effervescence. Well, listen. I was gonna say to that point. Yeah, you don't want to live like that because of the makeup of our quarterback is not built to constantly keep going off platform.
Right. And not all quarterbacks are built the same. Not all are created equal. So it'd be unfair to expect to become that. Right.
Yeah, you can move the pocket and allow him to do that. But you don't want to put him too much in harm's way when it comes to that.
You want him to do it by choice like he did against Carolina when he had all the motherfuckers on him and he fucking rolled out and fucking
right.
This shit was fucking dope, y'all. Come on now, man.
And you see them do it, KP. You see them do it. And again, when needed.
What I'm saying is, I want to see him do that against the good teams and make them into winning plays. To me, that's what the top echelon of quarterbacks define their level at. That's what they do. And right now, whether you are on your side or my side, the fact remains, and it is a fact, that against the teams with the high records, we're not seeing that we're not seeing us go through. Not yet.
So, EM, you believe our offensive line depth is not as propped up as we say? Because I was killing people when I make the statement about us being the greatest roster in the history of civilization. And I'm talking about the depth.
Well, I told you the other day, Crypto. I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard anybody say we got Pro Bowlers at every position 1 through 53. I never heard that.
What I mean, I'm not meaning Pro Bowlers at every position. They're saying as if our 3rd and 4th string guys are better than half the league's 1st string guys. That to me tells me he has the best roster in history.
No, that is exactly what was going on in this community.
That's what was being propagated. That's what was being going on in the community. Our roster was so deep and so great that our 2nd and 3rd stringers are better than half the league's 1st stringers.
I never listen. I never heard. Listen, I never
That's why I
said that.
never give the injury excuse. That's why I keep killing people about the injury excuse, because that's what was being told. If our third stringers was that great to be starting on half the league, then what's the problem?
Well, I never, again, like I said, I never engaged in that conversation. Listen, I was always coming from the perspective of, and I was always clear, at least on paper, with the top end talent that we have, this is the most talented team that we have. Now, you can make the argument all day.
Specify top end. You nailed it down to only a handful of players, maybe 8 to 10 players. They was talking about complete roster, like all 53 of them. I'm like, what though, bro? You realize some of them gonna have to play at some point in the season.
100% right. Right now, the main alarm bell for our team right now is what's going to happen with that O-line. I think losing Isaiah Wynn is bigger than what it is by itself.
It really
because
is.
he added that
He's
extra
been
quality
consistently good,
O-lineman
yeah.
It really
that
is.
kept the balance of our line good, right?
Wynn
Losing
has-
him almost exposes Eichenberg. You know what I'm saying? It puts some extra pressure on Eichenberg to be better than he showed. You know what I'm saying? And we have a question mark at that left guard position right now, which is a huge hole.
I'll have to say this was on Greer for not building up behind Eichenberg and Wynn, not getting the pieces.
And that's what's so juicy about what your boy TD presented tonight. Not saying I agree with him, not saying I disagree with him, but he put out through
my boy. Oh, okay, JK.
I see. That's your man.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. KP, you gonna get a private phone call over that one. You gonna get a private phone call over that one.
Is that your man, Neil? That's your man.
Oh, okay.
Well, he put out tonight that Van Noy basically exposed the civil war that was going on in the franchise, and that it was Greer stubbornly that did not want to upgrade the O-line against Flores' wishes. This was one of the ideas that was pondered on his statement tonight, that Greer stubbornly would not upgrade this O-line, even from Flores' time. And that may be even some of the reason why he, resisted making the correct moves on the O-line into this season. And it's probably because he's invested so much draft capital on so many of these guys. I mean, Austin Jackson has come around. Liam Eichenberg remains a question. Dieter's out of here. These were all high-level draft picks on the O-line. So, it's an interesting thing to think about.
KP, man, we're all in the same, boat. We're all fans of this team. I'm not gonna say that TD took my take, but I've been saying this. But man, don't forget about the homie Robert Jones, bro.
Right.
What I mean? Don't
he was
forget
a 7th-round draft pick.
His
improvement would be a bonus, but he wasn't. He was a project at best. Hopefully, it works out.
Robert Jones did give us quality snaps. So the one thing that I would say is, you take away from that guy's development because you want to be stubborn. Because and I agree with what TD said. He might not have heard my take, but I have been saying this since day one, because when we drafted Eichenberg, man, I was pissed because I was like, this guy don't even play on the right side. He's a left side guy. Like, what are we doing?
Traded up to get him too.
Why are we trying to experiment? Just draft the guy that's ready to go. I think Jenkins was in that draft, the guy that the Bears got.
Seven, the guy with the glasses.
But the point that I'm making is, last year I thought Robert Jones took quality snaps. And they were better than Eichenberg. And the only thing that made sense to me was the fact that they gave up draft capital to get Eichenberg. And to me personally, that's not really a solution for a team. Well, that's not the mentality that you want from your franchise or your team to have, because it should be, best man takes the field. You know what I mean? That gives you the best chance to win. And if you're so concerned about money, well, when you win, you're going to make more money because you're going to start gaining more fans, people that are casuals, people that are tired of their teams. You know what I mean? They don't see it like that. The way they see it as, we made an investment on this guy in the draft, or we're just going to keep on throwing him in there and hopefully it works out. No, that's not the way it works. Our fucking quarterback he's got an uphill battle every fucking weekend because they're doing this shit. You know what I mean? So Robert Jones comes back. Give him a try. Let's see what he got. You know what I mean?
I think he's gonna get an opportunity.
That's
but I
on
think
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I think he'll get an opportunity. But I think they really like Lester Cotton, bro. They really like him, and I heard that even going back into the preseason, they really are high on him on his potential trajectory. So,
And
but I
how did
do think
he was a free agent signing, right? Last season, we got him off the waiver wire from somebody.
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, I think we did. I don't think we drafted him.
Hey, let
I
me
think
ask
we
you.
might have got.
Hang on, real quick. You got look, you got all these fucking internet tough guys, bitch ass ABAB in the chat, little Nicky. I mean, damn. Listen, Nick, little Nicky. Listen, you talking all that gangster shit? Listen, bro. You don't listen. You already got half your teeth knocked out. You want the other half knocked out too? Is that what you looking to get? I mean, really, ABAB is a hoe, Lou. Don't even waste your time with that hoe, with that female in the chat, bro. He ain't about nothing. He's a hoe, been a hoe, always gonna be a hoe.
Hey, why don't y'all drop that link for AB and this?
Oh, he's never
little
gonna
Nick.
check.
Yeah. He ain't, We've been calling on this whole ass. We've been calling on this whole ass nigga for years. He ain't gonna do shit but talk. Gonna sit in the fucking chat and play that goddamn internet warrior shit. That's all he gonna do, bro. You know that.
Damn, at least build a
he
brand,
never
baby.
coming up.
All you do is hide like a little bitch.
Well, listen,
he's permanently in the
all right, can we back to football talk real quick? Check this out. Let me ask you.
My bad, Shay.
Everything but Gators, man. The Gators are trash.
Just like your Utah Jazz and those bitch ass Hurricanes, but that's another story here. But anyway,
it's okay.
Anyway, we don't blame the referees for Ohio State games. But anyway, back to my point.
That's because they paid the referees off.
Hey, Shake. One last thing, real quick. I promise this will be it. I just got to address one last thing, right? So I'm in the chat and I see where Bo G says, "Big Nick, I seen your channel cover one of your videos. It got 750,000 views already. That is impressive. That needs to be commended. But you getting all them damn views and you can't get your grill fixed? I mean, damn, what the fuck is going on here?" But anyway, go ahead, Shake. My bad.
That's all good. But anyway, listen. Do you think one of the reasons why Greer doesn't fix the O-line for two reasons? Number one, he sees that Tua has quick release, and two, the fact that there's no secret when the Patriots. I could pinpoint when the Patriots started winning Super Bowls again is when they acquired Dante Scarnecchia. So with that being said, he had a philosophy. They're trying to cycle through coaches with great coaching and that quick release that Tua has. You don't really need a offensive line because Tua's not going to be holding the ball for that long. Could that be a part of the process that Chris Greer doesn't want an offensive line because of Tua's pocket presence and the fact that we're bringing in trying to bring in good coaches to kind of stabilize the offensive line. You don't need the offensive line for that long.
Spend the capital on it.
It could be. That could be a part of it.
But it also could be the fact that he traded up for the guy and he ain't gonna move on because of that. His reputation's on the line when it comes to the fact that he.
I hope that's not the case.
Well, I hope that's not the case either. I hope it's not either. But and again, Liam has he scrapped it out there. He's doing the best he can. You know what I'm saying? So one thing you'll never hear me call any player is trash, and that goes around a lot in this community. But you cannot hear me. I respect every guy who laces it up for my team and puts it out there on the field, whether they get beat or not. I'm not the one who uses that label trash. So
at the end of the day, look, you could say what you want, but it was the outside linebackers and the outside defense linemen that were getting the Tua, not the inside. So that tells you right there, it wasn't the interior of the line that was giving up those sacks.
Right.
It was the outer of the line.
Right,
it was the people that on the edges that was getting the Tua, not the interior.
So you're saying Liam Eichenberg had another Hall of Fame performance?
Well, not Hall of Fame performance, but I tell you what, he didn't give up those sacks. And as far as the bad, as far as those bad snaps, who's that guy? The center, he had those last year as well. But now that this is his second year as a center, you see the bad snaps get less and less. And if I think Eichenberg, if he continues playing center, I can see that projection for him next year too, in his second year as a center.
Right.
That's how I see it anyway.
But again, I said this earlier. The most outstanding feature of the biggest surprise for me this season on offense.
You might as well get that gold jacket for him
play
right now.
Of the offensive line and the offensive line's ability to dictate in the running game, especially. As long as we got that, as long as we can move people around and open up them holes, I think our offense will remain competitive whether Tyreek plays or not. But like I said, I want to see Tua maintain that high level. Even if the big dog is not in the lineup. For me, it's still a question that I like to see answered. Sorry if that rubs people the wrong way, but that's just where I'm at with it.
And that's fine, KP. There's no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I never would again, it's just the ones that are the extremists on either side. You know what I mean? Right. So it is what it is. But I listen, it's been real. It's been definitely a pleasure to be up here with you gentlemen to engage in dialogue about the team. And hey, Vic, I just want to let.
And I'm neither of the extremists.
I think I hear. I think I hear the warning.
Hey, that storm.
Hurricane Wimby.
That storm is coming. I want to let everybody know. Them fucking idiots in the chat. Right, everybody. That storm is coming, and the face of the NBA changes here in about 30 minutes, baby.
No, Jason Tatum's the face of the NBA.
Here we are.
Tatum's getting traded next
Tatum's
week.
the god of NBA. Bow down to the king. Bow down to the king.
Hey, the face of the NBA is just about to change here in about 30 minutes. Victor Wembanyama makes his debut tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio, Spurs Nation, goddammit, we are officially back, baby. It is on and popping. Let's get it, goddammit. Let's get it.
Are we talking 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 block shots?
A double-double. That's a double-double, right? 3 doubles.
Let's get it.
Quadruple doubles.
2
but Crypto, I thought you was a fan, bro. I thought you put everybody on it with the exception. I thought you put a lot of people on.
He likes those Utah Mormons, the Utah Mormons.
I put everybody on the EM. I'm trying to tell Lewis that what he's about.
And by the way, the Utah Mormons, what's that team? By the way, if you get drafted by Utah, you get magic underwear. That's what they told me.
Keontae George is gonna be right behind your boy, Em.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. And listen, I appreciate you coming up, man. We'll get some final thoughts, bro.
Oh no! Hey, that was my final thoughts. I'm up out of here. Hey, salute, Shake. Always respect, bro.
Same here,
KP, Crypto, Esther, Greg, salute. Hey, man. Until next time, fellas. All right.
We might as well just hop out at the same time because I'm about to do the same thing, man. Appreciate you for having me on, Shake. I gotta watch the game, man.
Oh no,
Peace out,
man. Be safe.
All right,
man.
All right, man.
Hey, man. This Friday, man. The Redcoats are coming to Hard Rock Stadium. The Redcoats are coming. I'm gonna be like Paul Revere. The Redcoats are coming, man. We'll talk about a lot of things. And man, I appreciate everybody for coming in. Everybody in the chat. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll ever get along, but I love everybody, even if they don't love me, man. I still got love for everybody. You know what I mean? I appreciate you watching and commenting. Guys like AB and even Big Nick, Jay, and my Raphael Courtright, my man Michael.
Raphael Courtright is cool people's, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Courtright.
CCRR. Everybody who participated.
Yes, VCR.
V21 definitely in the building. Aqua
Yeah,
Vision.
peace to all you guys out there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man. I love the hate. I love the hate. Keep it coming.
So with that being said, everybody fins up. We out of here, man. Peace.
Fins up.
Fins up, baby.